You're in Konoha, and you call these ninja tools? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 426 I'm injured. Who are you? Are you also a cyborg created by Lord Orochimaru? Although Kimimaro was very angry now, he also reacted. A human who could easily take his attack and was still so young. Apart from the accident of being modified, Kimimaro really didn't know who could achieve such an achievement. Unfortunately, Kimimaro was wrong this time. Tianyu's perversion was not something that normal people could imagine. I've already said that I know Orochimaru. Do you want to meet him? You tell me yourself. Tianyu saw that Kimimaro did not answer his words, and did not ask any more questions. He looked at Kimimaro with a cold face and threw down Kimimaro's claws. Are you serious? If it is really possible, I hope to meet Lord Orochimaru. Kimimaro was finally convinced by Tianyu's words this time. He slowly knelt on the ground, his eyes full of expectation. Well, come with me first. When I see what's here, I'll naturally take you to see Orochimaru. Okay, I'll lead the way for you. Kimimaro stood up, but when he saw the chains on his body and the iron cage in front of him, despair appeared on his face again. Yes. This was the cell that Orochimaru had spent a lot of money to build because he was afraid that he would go berserk. Even Orochimaru himself needed to spend a little effort to barely open it. Looking at Tianyu in front of him, although his fighting power was very strong, he didn't think that Tianyu's fighting power was stronger than Orochimaru. Stand back a little, I'll help you open the cage. Oh. Kimimaro stepped back a few steps by mistake and watched Tianyu standing there and charging a punch. Boom. After a loud bang, the entire test base was shaken. But after the shaking, Tianyu was a little surprised, because his full strength punch in his normal form only made the cage a little bent. You'd better get someone here. Even Lord Orochimaru may not be able to open this cage. Kimimaro showed an expression of as expected, which seemed to be the same as he expected. Although Tianyu's fighting power was very strong, it was not as strong as it could be. Stand back a little, I'm going to use my strength. But, just as Kimimaro was about to speak, he suddenly felt a strong airflow released from Tianyu's body. Kimimaro felt that something was wrong and quickly stepped back. Tianyu instantly opened the pulse gate to the sixth gate, and black airflow began to appear on his body. I don't believe I can't open you, open it for me. Tianyu gathered all his strength in his fist, and then punched the cage again. Boom. This time the loud noise was much louder than the previous one. And even the vibration became more intense. Kimimaro lost his balance and fell to the ground. Who is this guy? Kimimaro broke out in a cold sweat, and couldn't believe his eyes. Is such a young boy a monster? It must be that old monster who came out to pretend to be young and then act. A picture appeared in Kimimaro's mind again, and he assigned Tianyu another identity. After the vibration ended, Tianyu slowly stretched back his arm. At this time, blood was dripping from Tianyu's right fist. Although the iron cage in front of him had been opened by Tianyu was also injured. For such a long time, Tianyu had not tasted the feeling of being injured for a long time. Interesting, it seems that my body is still too weak now, and I need to strengthen my training. Tianyu also felt that the intensity of his recent training was too little, and his physical strength was slowly declining. It seems that since his combat effectiveness has risen to this point, he has rarely paid attention to things about strength. Now this cage has thoroughly taught Tianyu a lesson. No matter how powerful he is, he must train his body well. Okay, I'm helping you loosen the chains on your body. It hurts a little, just bear with it. Tianyu said, holding the chains on Kimimaro's body tightly with his hands, and crushed them easily. Is everything done? Lead me inside to see if there is anything interesting. Tianyu observed for a while, and after he found no restraint tools, he pulled up Kimimaro, who was completely stunned. Then he threw him in front. Now Kimimaro obeyed Tianyu in everything. This guy was really scary. He broke the iron cage that had trapped him for many years with one punch. There was only a little blood dripping from his fist. This guy must be a monster that Orochimaru found from somewhere. If Kimimaro knew that Tianyu still doubted his fighting ability after breaking the cage, he might doubt his life again. My lord, please follow me. Kimimaro walked in front obediently and began to lead Tianyu. In the entire test base, with the sound of their footsteps, all the lights were lit up. The dark corridor was a little creepy under the dim light, but Tianyu was not afraid. As for Kimimaro, he has lived here for more than 10 years, and this place is like home. So Kimimaro was not afraid at all, just like returning to his own backyard. My lord, this is Orochimaru's laboratory, and next to it are the dormitories for the test subjects. Kimimaro introduced it to Tianyu while walking. The entire base laboratory is like a huge underground kingdom. As the saying goes, a sparrow may be small, but it has all the organs. There's everything you need here. Even the underground food reserves can allow hundreds of people to survive for 10 years. In other words, even if Orochimaru failed to invade, as long as he escaped successfully, he would not be dead. However, after walking for such a long time, we still haven't found the source of those mutant crocodiles. Could it be that those mutant crocodiles are just an accident? Are the original species of crocodiles here like this? When Tianyu thought of this, he felt that things became a little boring. If so, wouldn't it be a waste of his time? After Tianyu complained in his heart, when he was about to turn around and leave, he was diverted by Kimimaro's words. Sir, this is the entrance to Lord Orochimaru's underground laboratory. Normally, only he can enter. Even when Lord Kabuto wanted to go in, he was severely punished by Lord Orochimaru. Oh. Tianyu heard this and suddenly became alert. Kabuto's identity is still very important in Orochimaru's mind. A room that Kabuto cannot enter must have a secret. Chapter 427 Orochimaru's terrifying experiment. You wait outside now, I'll go in and take a look. Tianyu was not afraid that Kimimaro would take this opportunity to escape, and he pushed the door open without any defense. And Kimimaro, as Tianyu predicted, found a place to sit down and waited for Tianyu to come back. When Tianyu walked into the room, hundreds of thousands of white zetsu came to him. Tianyu finally understood where this place was. Aren't these the white zetsu that Orochimaru developed with Hashirama cells? It seems that Kabuto had known about this place for a long time, and Orochimaru did not use it again because the experiment was not satisfactory. I see, that's why even Kabuto can't enter here. Tianyu smiled and finally understood the cause and effect of this place. The root of everything can actually be traced back to a hole that Kabuto accidentally broke here. Because of this small gap, the culture medium ran out of the test base and flowed into the swamp. The original crocodile in the swamp should also be consistent with this genetic program, so it mutated. I thought it was a big deal, but Orochimaru just made some cheap stuff like this. Tianyu complained helplessly and walked out of the room. However, Tianyu did not touch anything here. After all, this was a necessary step to trigger the Fourth Ninja World War. He would not destroy these things. Okay, there's nothing here. I will let you bring your 3 companions back to Orochimaru. Companions. Kimimaro was a little surprised. He didn't understand what Tianyu meant by companions. After all, he had lived here for such a long time, but there was no living thing. You will know when you see it. Tianyu interrupted Kimimaro impatiently, and then took Kimimaro to the room where they entered the base at the beginning. Get these 3 guys out, I'm going to send you. Although Kimimaro was very confused along the way, he still did it obediently. With the sound of 3 broken glass, the 3 people in the incubator gradually regained consciousness. Ahem, what are we doing? Did you save us? Jugo was still gentle. He didn't come up to kill innocent people, but looked at the 2 people in front of him in confusion. As for Karin, she hadn't reacted yet. She curled up on the ground and trembled all over. Haha, I'm finally out, you all go to hell. Hazuki Sujetsu was not so gentle. She changed into water form and rushed towards Tianyu. However, she was directly blocked by the ninja tools on Tianyu's body and was forced to show her true form. Just when Hazuki Sujetsu was about to transform again and escape, she was grabbed by Tianyu's head. You can try it, which is faster, you transform faster or I'll crush your head faster. Tianyu said such horrible words with a blank expression. And Tianyu also showed a creepy smile, which made Hazuki Sujetsu completely give up resistance. You are a lunatic, a person who is crazier than Orochimaru. Although Hazuki Sujetsu compromised, the chatterbox was still chattering. Tianyu didn't care about these things, as long as he could make this guy quiet down. Otherwise, if this guy made trouble in front of him, he was afraid that he would kill him accidentally. Thank you for your compliment. Now stand there holding hands obediently. I'll take you to see someone. Tianyu said as he pulled up Karin from the ground and threw her at Kimamero's feet. Isn't it a bit disgusting to hold hands? When Hazuki heard that they had to stand there holding hands, she took 2 steps back with disgust on her face. You can disobey me, but I will crush your head if you refuse. Tianyu looked at Hazuki with a smile, and the words that Hazuki was about to say were held back. Why does this guy always like to crush other people's heads? Hazuki muttered in her heart, and then she obediently stepped forward and held Jugo's hand. As for the most obedient and honest one now, Jugo might be the one. He didn't say a word for such a long time, just standing here obediently. Boy, don't you want to escape? Just accept your fate. I don't know why, Tianyu suddenly felt that this matter became very unfulfilling. Without any resistance, how can I find interesting things? How? You have the scent of Orochimaru on you. You should know Orochimaru, right? And seeing how casual you are, the person you are talking about should be Orochimaru. Otherwise, your strength could easily kill us. This is the reason why you didn't kill us. Jugo's calm analysis made Tianyu admire this guy a little. But is this guy the legendary dog nose? He could smell the scent of Orochimaru on him so quickly. After all, he rarely came into contact with Orochimaru, and he could only meet him occasionally. Very good, you are right, then stand up, I will take you to see Orochimaru. What? No, don't take me to see Orochimaru, I will die, please. Karin was still in a coma, and when she heard Orochimaru's name, she woke up instantly. Oh my god, how much trauma did Orochimaru cause to these test subjects? Tianyu looked at Karin, who was going crazy on the spot speechlessly. A good little girl, she was so depraved. Don't talk nonsense, hold your hand quickly, I'm going to take you there. No, please, no. Karin crawled over and grabbed the hem of Tenayu's trousers, begging bitterly. Just at that time, Kimimaro came up and bumped into Karin, trying to pull Karin over. This action just happened to be in line with the restrictions of Tenayu's activation of Flying Thunder God. He activated Flying Thunder God instantly and appeared in the Konoha laboratory. Why are you back again? Did you just leave? Are you homesick again? This time it was not Orochimaru who complained, even Senju Tobirama couldn't help but complain helplessly. He had seen Tenyu too many times in the past few days. I don't know why, every time he saw Tenyu, Senju Tobirama felt a sense of frustration. He and Orochimaru studied the Kunai for half a day, and only came to one conclusion. That is, the interior of the Kunai is made of minerals. The rest, even what mineral it is made of, is not clear. How can this guy make such a perverted thing at such a young age? His original identity as a genius scientist, now in front of Tenyu, is like playing house. Chapter 428 Ridiculous Scientist. You think I want to come back? Look at the mess Orochimaru left behind. Tianyu helplessly pointed at Karin, who was still holding his feet tightly, and smiled bitterly. The mess I left behind. Orochimaru put down his work and looked up when he heard this. Lord Orochimaru, it's you. Are you still alive? Kimamero's voice trembled as he spoke, and he looked at Orochimaru with tears in his eyes. Although what he said was not very nice, it was still okay. Unlike Hazuki Sujetsu and Karin, one had turned into a water droplet and lay on the ground and dared not get up. The other fainted directly and could not believe what he saw. How did you find them back? Did you go to that base? Orochimaru was also very surprised to see these people. These people were the strongest bloodline limits he found at the beginning. However, after learning about the Sharingan and the Samsara, he was no longer interested in these branches. I was just passing by, but those white things you made are very interesting, remember not to tell anyone. I have a plan for these things. If you tell anyone, I will kill you even if it's you. Okay, you just threaten me every day. I still have to help you. I know everything. Is there anything else? Orochimaru looked at Senju Tobirama helplessly. He was working hard after all, but this guy, when he came back, either assigned him work or threatened him. Isn't this a bad attitude for a scientist? Okay, I know you have complaints, so I'll give you this, right? Tianyu knew that he had warned enough. If he continued, this matter would have the opposite effect. As the saying goes, if you slap someone in the face, you should give him a candied date. Tianyu did this, and in his hand were the manufacturing drawings of 3 kunai. Although even if they had this thing, Orochimaru and Senju Tobirama would not be able to research it. But it was also generous of him, let them study it well. Sure enough, when Orochimaru saw the blueprint in Shionyu's hand, he suddenly became energetic. He put the blueprint on the table without saying a word and read it intently. Even Senju Tobirama rushed up in a hurry, took out a magnifying glass and began to study the details. You guys study slowly, I'll leave these people to you, you can decide how to deal with them. Shionyu's wanted to say dog, but thought it was not very polite, so he didn't say it. After Shionyu's said this, he disappeared from the spot. Orochimaru wanted to continue his research, but it was better not to have people in a place like a laboratory. So he thought about it and sent a message to Tsunade's office. He said that he had a few special Jonin-level ninjas here. Although their combat power was a little bit fluctuating, they would at least be much stronger than normal Chunins. After Tsunade saw this message, she subconsciously wanted to refuse. But at the end of Orochimaru's message, he actually wrote that they were brought back by Shionyu's and his son. This made Tsunade agree without hesitation, and asked the Anbu to pick them up quickly, fearing that these guys would run away if it was too late. If this was Orochimaru's man, Tsunade really didn't dare to use him. After all, the only people in the village who could fully trust Orochimaru were probably Amaji or Senju Tobirama. Since it was recommended by Amaji's parents, there shouldn't be any problems. Seeing that everything was settled, Orochimaru began to study the drawings. As the two of them watched, they could hear the words, so that's how it is from time to time. The two of them now admire Amaji's forging of ninja tools more and more. It is not easy for a person to forge ninja tools to such a terrifying strength. Amaji is so powerful, it's not a coincidence. Senju Tobirama threw his magnifying glass on the table and lay down on the chair helplessly. Even Orochimaru put down his work and looked at the 3 station drawings in front of him with some despair. On the drawings, it can be said that all the information was told to them. It was just a matter of forging. Everything on the blueprint was very clear. But even so, they had no confidence in being able to create such a flawless ninja tool. Because these steps had been simulated countless times in their minds. But the two had never succeeded correctly once. It was not that the blueprint that Shionyu's took out was a wrong blueprint. If this thing was wrong, they could still be calm. The key was that this thing was too perfect. Every time the two of them would have a very small gap, and it was because of this gap that they failed. But can a person really do something perfectly? Although the two of them did not believe it very much, everything had been told to them in the weapon of the Tian family. This thing is true. Shionyu's can really mass-produce these things, and these ninja tools can be sold at such a price, which is really not expensive. Don't study it. He can't even understand the simplest kunai. It seems that we really can't understand this child. Senju Tobirama put the blueprint on the table into the safe. Sure enough, a person needs talent. Some people originally said that he could create so many ninjutsu, but no one could practice it. Senju Tobirama was also very strange in his heart. After all, why would someone not understand such a simple thing? Now Senju Tobirama finally understood what those people were thinking. This thing was not something that humans could make. The gap between him and Shionyu's was not at the same level. Orochimaru had this feeling even more. He took out some things silently and continued his research. It was better to study his own low-level things to feel more at ease. Is Shionyu's that kid the old guy Liudeo? Orochimaru couldn't help but sighed, thinking that only Liudeo could do such a feat. You think too much? This kind of Liudeo can't do it, because Liudeo is just a strong inherited bloodline. And Shionyu's strength is no longer something we can imagine, so don't think too much. Senju Tobirama smiled helplessly, then grabbed a pot of wine next to him and disappeared. Now I'm in a bad mood. My eldest brother doesn't drink with me even if he finds me, so I'll go find Guji. It just so happened that Guji was still alive, and whenever Senju Tobirama had troubles, he would go to Guji to drink. Chapter 429, Formation of the Eagle Squad. Just when the 2 top scientists of Konoha were in a state of depression. In the Hokage's office, Tsunade frowned and worried at the 4 people standing in front of her. Now she suddenly felt that she shouldn't trust Shionyu's so much. What kind of monsters are these? They are as thin as monkeys, as if they haven't eaten for several months. These guys don't say that they have the fighting power of a special Chunin. Even ordinary Chunin is a problem, right? Tell me, what abilities do you have? Do you have any criminal records in the past? Tsunade helplessly gave a look to Shizune next to her, and then began to listen. Now, Hazuki Sujetsu and Karin look very normal. At least they didn't look like they couldn't control their limbs when they met Orochimaru just now. Kimimaro started to introduce himself first. Kimimaro, special blood limit, can use his own bones at will, and his criminal record is that he participated in the civil war in the Land of Water and his clan was exterminated. In fact, Kimimaro didn't tell his detailed information. In the Land of Water, the family that Kimimaro was exterminated was the Kaguya clan, and there were only 2 survivors left in the world. There is another one that is still sealed by the higher-ups. Go on. Tsunade looked at Kimimaro with a little surprise. The civil war in the Water Kingdom was not a small battle. Jugo, a special sealer, has no criminal record and has saved Lord Orochimaru's life. After Jugo finished speaking, he remained silent and did not say much. Tsunade nodded. She did say very little, but saving Orochimaru was not a simple matter. To be able to save Orochimaru from the hands of someone who wanted to kill him, her strength must not be simple. Then Karin came out and began to introduce herself. Uzumaki Karin, a survivor of the Uzumaki clan, participated in the Third World War. As an excellent medical ninja, she saved countless ninjas. Gurgle. Where did this guy Tianyu find these monsters? This information is not something that a special Jonin can do. Even some elite Jonins may not be able to get it, right? Okay, last one, kid, are you also a survivor of some family or something? Tsunade is now completely numb. Even if she is told that Hazuki is the descendant of that battle hero, she will believe it. Hazuki, a survivor of the Hazuki clan, my brother is Hazuki Mainjutsu, and I am one of the 3rd generation of the 7 ninja swordsmen. As for the battles, I don't remember them anymore. I've fought too many. Hazuki also wanted to talk about the battles he had participated in, but there were too many. As one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist village, he had performed countless missions. There were dozens of them, big and small, and no one could remember them so clearly. Hazuki? The descendants of Hazuki? What kind of monsters are these? Tsunade is now confused and has no idea where Tianyu found these monsters. Haven't these tribes been declared to be completely extinct? I didn't expect that so many survivors of the extinct families could be found by piecing together. I just don't know if these people will sell for a good price if they are auctioned. Tsunade's gambler's heart was instantly activated. It turned out that Tsunade was used to looking at the price of an item. After all, as a fat sheep, he often used his own things to mortgage, so this matter was normal. Tsunade-sama, should you assign numbers to them? Shizune could see it from Tsunade's expression. Tsunade-sama must be thinking about those things in her heart, and she must stop it. Okay, I know. I will assign you to the Anbu Rapid Reaction Force. Your number will be Eagle. As for the captain, there is no captain yet. Tsunade didn't know why, but she suddenly wanted to come up with this name. Anyway, it was just based on her mood. Seeing the 4 people, she also liked them very much, so she decided to use this. Shizune, you take them to the Anbu to report. Remember to entertain them well and don't talk nonsense. Yes. Everyone, please. After receiving the order, Shizune left the office with the Eagle Squad, leaving Tsunade alone. Huh? This guy Tianyu, these guys are all famous in history, and he really got them here. Thinking of this, Tsunade couldn't help laughing. Now is the time when my power is weak. I didn't expect to have such help. Knock knock. Suddenly, a knock on the door interrupted Tsunade's thinking, and Tsunade sat up straight. Who is it? People from the Land of Fire. Hearing this introduction, Tsunade couldn't help but smile bitterly. There was no need to think about it. No matter how stupid these guys were, he understood what was going on. Didn't he just buy more than 1 billion ninja jewels? But he didn't expect these people to come so quickly. Come in. As Tsunade finished speaking, 12 ninjas appeared in the office, and there was a feeling of surrounding the office. Everyone, sit down. Why is the atmosphere so tense? Tsunade's face froze, but quickly returned to normal. Tsunade-sama, we appreciate your kindness, but we still need you to explain what's going on. The person who spoke was Sarutobi Asuma, the son of Sarutobi Hirozen. He was originally one of the 12 guardian ninjas. It was precisely because of his identity that he did not accept the sanctions. When Asuma came, he actually had some personal feelings. After all, he had heard his father. Even the most selfless people would not lose their sense of proportion. At this time, Asuma was holding the sky-high bills printed by the ninja tool shop. Now all the high-ranking officials of the fire country think that this big fat sheep went out to gamble again, so he owed so much money. But this woman's brain is not very good. She chose a company to do black accounts. Isn't this waiting to be discovered? You are talking about this. I just bought some ninja tools, so I spent so much? If you don't believe it, you can go to the warehouse and see for yourself. Gang Xiao picked up the water cup on the table nonchalantly. When he was about to take a sip, he was startled by a voice. Tsunade, do you really think you can do whatever you want after becoming Hokage? What kind of ninja tools can be used by 13 people? Do you think we are fools? The person who spoke was another of the 12 guardian ninjas, and it was obvious that he was a little excited. Because the 12 guardian ninjas are actually divided into 2 parts, which is the part that is opposite to Suma. Chapter 430. The whole village is shocked. I hope you can speak politely. After all, I am the Hokage of Konoha village. Gang Shou's face became very ugly, and he warned the 12 ninjas who were guarding him. Report, Tsunade refused to follow orders and is now being mortgaged back to the land of fire. Kitagen shouted, and then rushed forward in person. Kitagen, stay calm, don't make things too awkward. Dilu was not as brainless as these people. He knew the strength of himself and others. Even if there were 12 more people, they might not be able to beat Tsunade. He actually threatened to use force to deal with Tsunade. Did Kitagen drink too much last night? Stop talking nonsense, it's none of your business. Kitagen didn't listen to Dilu's persuasion at all, and insisted on going forward to detain Tsunade. No need for you, I will go to the land of fire with you, led the way. Tsunade lightly waved her fist and knocked Kitagen out. Although Kitagen was very unwilling in his heart, he also knew that he couldn't do it again. After all, Tsunade's current level is the level of their superiors. If they acted recklessly after Tsunade had given up resistance, then even if Tsunade didn't say anything, they would be severely punished by the land of fire. Well, come with us, we also hope that you can clear your grievances in front of the daimyo. After Asuma was polite, he took Tsunade and left Konoha village together. When Tsunade left, Shizune, who had returned, happened to see her. She hurriedly wanted to rush up to ask what was going on, but was stopped by Tsunade's eyes. Tsunade seemed to be saying something at this time, but Shizune didn't understand. Don't worry about me, I will be back in a while and manage Konoha village well. In fact, this is what Tsunade wanted to say, but Shizune completely distorted the matter. Go find Tianyu quickly, I don't know what's going on, I will go to the land of fire. In this way, Shizune analyzed Tsunade's words in a sentence she guessed, and then based on the appearance of the 12 ninjas who were guarding her. Okay, Tsunade-sama, I got it. Shizune looked at Tsunade firmly and ran away. Huh? Luckily this girl is smart and doesn't act on impulse. Tsunade thought that Shizune had understood what he said, and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. At this time, Shizune came to the laboratory first. The laboratory was resting at this time, and the 2 top scientists were not doing experiments. When they saw Shizune running over, a puzzled expression appeared on their faces. They knew this little girl Shizune, who often followed Tsunade's buttocks. But it was the first time they saw Shizune coming here. Could it be that Tsunade had something important? No. Oops. Shizune wanted to speak, but she ran too fast, and she didn't have time to catch her breath, let alone talk. Come on, what's wrong? Why are you so anxious? Senju Tobirama quickly poured a glass of water for Shizune. Shizune rested for 5 or 6 minutes before she recovered. Tell me, what are you doing here? Why are you so anxious? Orochimaru saw that Shizune had recovered, and asked a key question. Oh, by the way, I forgot about this. Shizune had rested for a while and forgot the purpose of coming here. She was still looking at the laboratory curiously. It's like this. Lady Tsunade was just taken away by the 12 ninjas of the fire country. Before leaving, Lady Tsunade asked me to call Lord Emoji to save him. What? You said the girl was captured by those bastards of the fire country. Senju Tobirama suddenly lost his composure, widened his eyes and roared. Shizune was obviously frightened by Senju Tobirama's behavior, and could only nod nervously. How dare they kidnap my little granddaughter? Are these people tired of living? Wait a minute, I'll call my big brother, I'll let them know what regret is. With that, Senju Tobirama disappeared on the spot. This. Shizune looked at Orochimaru at a loss. Originally, Tsunade called him Emoji. How come 2 ancestors are involved now? What are you looking at? Go find Jiraiya first and tell him that Tsunade has been captured. Gather at the gate of Konoha. Orochimaru's face was also very bad. Although it was said that the relationship between the three ninjas was very bad. But they survived the war together after all. Which one didn't save the other's life? Now that Tsunade was captured, Orochimaru's anger also rose. Oh, I know. Shizune ran out quickly and went to the village to find Jiraiya. And Orochimaru took out a scout rat left by Amaji. This was the scout rat that Amaji left here because he was afraid that there would be an accident. I didn't expect it to be useful in such a short time. Amaji, Tsunade is in trouble. If you see it, come back quickly. We are leaving today. If you come late, go by yourself to the headquarters of the Land of Fire. After Orochimaru said briefly, he put down the scout rat and then came to the village entrance. Orochimaru was the first person to come to the village entrance. When Izumo Kotetsu saw Orochimaru, he was obviously startled and quickly took 2 steps back. Lord Orochimaru? Why are you here? Izumo remembered that after Tsunade came to power, Orochimaru had not appeared in the village. Some people even thought that Orochimaru had left here? Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Work hard, otherwise I will kill you. Orochimaru said expressionlessly, and an astonishing murderous aura began to emanate from him. Yes, I know, you go about your work. Izumo was obviously put down by Orochimaru, and quickly lowered his head, pretending to work seriously. At this time, Gusuke, who was sweeping the floor, looked at the expressionless Orochimaru and felt that the air was not right. Snake Boy, what happened? Although Gusuke said that he didn't want to be involved in anything, when Konoha really had something wrong, Gusuke was the most worried. Who are you? Are you Gusuke? Orochimaru didn't recognize Gusuke's identity at first, but after trying hard to recall it, he remembered it. During the Second World War, Kosuke and Orochimaru had met each other, so they knew each other. Well, did something happen? I see you look a little unhappy. You're alive. Tsunade has been captured. I'm going to get her back soon. Bang! Orochimaru's words made Kosuke drop the broom in his hand and look at Orochimaru in disbelief. Chapter 431. Aren't we going to destroy them? What did you say? Tsunade was captured. Guji couldn't believe his ears. After all, Tsunade was quite powerful. How could she be captured without leaving any trace? Even Izumo and Kotetsu widened their eyes. But when he thought of what Orochimaru said just now, he lowered his head and dared not look at them. Yet, I don't know when, but I have a called Amaji. I must get Tsunade back today. Take me with you. I don't have anything to do as an old man. I'll just join you young people for fun. Guji came behind Orochimaru, and a trace of murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Okay. Orochimaru just said okay and then waited for the arrival of others. Boom. Suddenly, a deep pit appeared in front of Orochimaru, and it was Hashirama Senju, who had not been seen for a long time, who walked out of it. What a courage. My Senju family only has this one incense, and he still captured him. Who gave him the courage of the Fire Country? Hashirama Senju hasn't lost his temper for a long time. It seems that if the Fire Country doesn't have an explanation, it will be difficult for it to withdraw intact. Brother is right. If you take the girl away, you will be our enemy. We must seek justice for the girl. Senju Tobirama used Flying Thunder God to appear behind Orochimaru and said angrily. Not only that, even several special Jonins from Konoha village appeared at the gate. It was Hatake Kakashi, Kyorna Iyuhi, and Might Guy who came. Not only them, but also the newly recruited Ambu Hawk squad came to the door. Although Hazuki Sujetsu and Karin looked at Orochimaru's expression, they were still very scared. Even their legs were shaking constantly, but they still stood up firmly. The Hawk squad requests to go into battle to save the Hawkage and complete our first mission. Kimimaro stood up and reported loudly. Okay. Senju Hashirama agreed without hesitation. Then, a huge toad appeared in the sky, and Jiraiya fell from the sky. Jiraiya, the sage, is here. Let's go. Tsunade has been captured. The Land of Fire doesn't know what's good for them. Jiraiya was very nervous after hearing that Tsunade had been captured. He quickly summoned Bunta and ran over at the fastest speed. Be quiet. It's time. Let's go. We'll meet up with Tengo later. Orochimaru looked at the time and decided not to wait for Tengo. Anyway, he had Tengo's mark on his body. He would just wait until he got there and Tengo would come. How could you not wait for me? That's really immoral. Tengo appeared in front of everyone at some point. Although his face was full of smiles, there were already faint ice crystals next to his body. This was enough to prove how angry Tengo was now. In fact, Tengo had heard about this matter at the beginning, but he was not in a hurry. Instead, he found some helpers. And these helpers were behind Tengo. Behind Tengo stood the 9-tailed Jinchuriki Naruto, the 4-tailed Jinchuriki Son Goku, the 1-tailed Jinchuriki Hinata, the 5-tailed Jinchuriki Han, and the 3-tailed body. Tianyu? Are you going to destroy them? Jiraiya widened his eyes. The 5-tailed beasts were more than half. It was obvious that they were going to destroy the capital of the Land of Fire. What did you say? Aren't we going to destroy them? Tianyu asked with a smile, and then came to Naruto. Naruto, now I need the power of the tailed beasts in your body. I'll let you sleep for a while. Brother Tianyu, do whatever you want. Even if you kill me, I won't even hum. Naruto opened his arms and stood in front of Tianyu without any defense. Tianyu smiled and said nothing. Then he gently placed his hand on Naruto's abdomen and gently rotated. As Tianyu rotated, Naruto completely lost control, and countless flesh and blood appeared on Naruto's body. After a while, the demon fox that appeared in Konoha village more than 10 years ago appeared at the door of Konoha. Ha ha ha, this uncle finally came out. Humans, you all have to die. After the 9 tails came out, he just stood there and laughed up to the sky. How many years have passed? He has already forgotten. In that small room, he was suffocated to death. Don't laugh. Do me a favor. I will let you run out and play as you like in the future. Tianyu came to the head of the 9-tailed fox. Before the 9-tailed fox got angry, the 9-tailed fox was already lying on the ground. Human? Who are you? How can you have such power? The 9-tailed fox couldn't believe that he would be knocked down by a human in one move. Be obedient and help me later. Otherwise, if you revive once, I will kill you once. I will let you know what it means to live like this. The breath of Tianyu pressed on the 9-tailed fox, making the 9-tailed fox instantly obedient. There is another reason why the 9-tailed fox can be obedient. Because he only noticed now that there is an old friend behind him. Isn't this the monster Senju Hashirama? How many years has it been now? Why is Senju Hashirama still alive now? I know, I will listen to you, but you must also keep your promise and let me come out to breathe in the future. Of course, I won't lie. After Tianyu finished speaking, he came to Z and Han again. The two did not resist. They could not defeat the enemy anyway, so they just let it go. After the 4 tails and 5 tails were released, they did not have the same momentum as the 9 tails. After all, they were already in the body of the Jinchuriki and saw the 9 tails that had just suffered a miserable end, and Senju Hashirama standing next to them. If they were upset, they would not have the confidence to be as strong as the 9 tails. Tianyu, I can help too. Hinata was unhappy when she saw Tianyu stop but did not move her. She hurriedly stepped forward and pulled Tianyu's sleeve. Tianyu's face also showed embarrassment. Tianyu did not want to call Hinata. But Hinata happened to be near Naruto, so he had no choice but to let Hinata come with him. Okay, how can my little baby become ugly? You will help after this. Tianyu gently rubbed Hinata's little head, and then nodded to Senju Hashirama. Then everyone disappeared in their own way, leaving Izumo, Katetsu and the other two confused. It was the first time they had seen such a big battle. Could it be that the Fourth World War is about to begin? Lord Amaji is too arrogant to use the tailed beast as a summoning beast. Do you think Lady Tsunade will be rescued? Izumo swallowed his saliva and said to himself. I think it's not a question of whether she can be rescued, but a question of how many people on the other side can survive. Zatetsu said firmly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 432 Welcoming the New Queen. Tsunade, I think you should return the money to the Land of Fire, otherwise things will become very difficult. Dilu is not as belligerent as those people, as long as this mission can be solved as easily as possible. Dilu, why are you speaking for her? I want to see if Tsunade can still be so tough when she arrives in the Land of Fire. Kid again seems to look down on Konoha village and does not take Konoha village seriously at all. Tsunade did not say anything. After all, as long as she explained it clearly to the daimyo, there should be no big problem. At this time, Asuma Saratobi was very nervous and looked behind him from time to time. Although Tsunade told the little follower not to tell anyone about this when she left. But there is still the existence of Hashirama Senju in the village. What if he senses it and chases after him? Asuma, what's wrong with you? It's just a small Konoha village. Are you worried? Kitaging saw Asuma's look and smiled disdainfully. Asuma just glanced at Kitaging and then stopped looking at him. A person's ignorance is terrifying. Even now, Asuma regrets capturing Tsunade. He is not like Bijin, who does not know Konoha village at all and has lived beside the daimyo of the Land of Fire all his life. He has not experienced any major wars, so he naturally does not know the combat effectiveness of the major ninja villages in the world. If there is really a ninja village that wants to betray, none of their forces can resist it. Asuma has basically lived in Konoha village all his life, so he naturally knows the strength of ninjas. When it is useful, the country above may speak more effectively. If a village really gets out of control, then this country can only wait to die on the spot. Tisk, so boring. Bijin saw that no one paid attention to him, so he stopped talking and continued to move forward obediently. Oh? It seems that Tsunade is here, but now is not the time to act. At this time, Tianyu found everyone as soon as possible, but he did not act immediately. He did not come back this time to bring Tsunade back. He dared to capture the leader of the village, so he could not let them get away so easily. Orochimaru, tell all the seniors to quickly go to the capital of the Fire Country. I want to make the Fire Country feel what anger is. Tianyu muttered to the scout rat, and then Orochimaru over there received the order. Orochimaru told everyone around him the order. Others didn't have any opinions. After all, Tianyu's strength was obvious to all. Tianyu would naturally not make a decision that would harm Tsunade. After all, if Tsunade really got into trouble, then the position of the Hokage of Konoha village would only be inherited by Tianyu. Tell Tianyu that we know, we will wait in the Fire Country. He is right, he must pay the price. Senju Hashirama said indifferently, and then disappeared with Senju Tobirama. Tian, you really treat me as a messenger. After Orochimaru complained helplessly, he told Tianyu their address and left the place with everyone. After Tianyu received the information, he quietly followed behind the 12 ninjas who were guarding him. At this time, in the headquarters of the capital of the Land of Fire, the daimyo was surrounded by wives and concubines, enjoying a wonderful life. In fact, when Kitaging left, he specifically told Kitaging that he must do everything he can to bring Tsunade back. After all, the daimyo of the Land of Fire will also be a good, lustful person. When Tsunade successfully became the Hokage, she came to the Land of Fire and met the daimyo of the Land of Fire. Since then, the daimyo didn't know what happened. No matter what he saw, he felt boring. After all, Tsunade's appearance is really beautiful, and the only people in the Land of Fire who can compete with her are a few children in Konoha village. The daimyo of the Land of Fire still feels more mature. So along the way, Kitaging would try his best to take Tsunade away, and he must take Tsunade to the capital of the Land of Fire. If he fails to complete the task, then the daimyo will punish him. In fact, the daimyo has long known that there is a very magical ninja tool in Konoha village. Although he doesn't know the price of those ninja tools, it is normal to spend so much if he wants to equip the entire Konoha. He just wanted to use this excuse to force Tsunade to stay in the Land of Fire. Although the daimyo already knew that the 2 Hokage of Konoha village had been resurrected. But rumors are rumors after all, and the rumors of that era were also spread during the time of his grandfather. No matter what, how strong can a ninja be? He has 1,000,000 troops in the capital. Even if they are given 100 courage, they dare not ask him for people. The daimyo is not afraid of Konoha village because of the existence of these bakers. Ha ha ha, Tsunade must be mine, ha ha ha. The daimyo laughed wildly in the hall, and the wives and concubines beside him were stunned. When did their husband have such a problem? Was he mentally traumatized? Husband, are you sick? Do you want to call the imperial physician to see? A concubine looked at the daimyo nervously, and then wanted to call the imperial physician to see if the daimyo was sick. Pa! How dare you! Someone, drag her away and put her in the cold palace. The daimyo roared angrily. Really, everyone wanted to show off in front of him. He was in good health, but she cursed him to be sick. Anyway, he was going to get Tsunade, so this kind of rouge and powder would naturally not be in his eyes. Husband, don't, I'm just concerned about your health, don't put me in the cold palace. No matter how the concubine pleaded, the daimyo had no sympathy at all, and looked at the door expectantly. The women next to him began to get scared and sat quietly beside the daimyo. They were afraid that they would be taken out if they said something wrong by mistake. By the way, someone, send me 1,000,000 lions to guard the border of the capital to welcome the new queen. The daimyo felt that he had to be more presentable when welcoming Tsunade, otherwise he would be looked down upon by Tsunade. Thinking of this, the daimyo dragged his beer belly and went to the back to dress up. After hearing this order, the guards outside the door hurried out to contact the people from the military department. The old queen in the hall had a very ugly face. She actually said these words in front of her. Although she was very angry, looking at the daimyo's appearance, even if she had a child now, she would not be driven out of the position. Who on earth would come out to make trouble at this critical moment? The queen's face was very ugly. She didn't understand what kind of woman could make the daimyo so excited. Chapter 433 Shameless Name. Just like that, under the preparation of the Fire Nation, 1,000,000 troops appeared in a panic at the border of the Fire Nation's capital. Now the residents of the Fire Nation are very anxious. I don't know what's going on. Why are these troops coming out in peacetime? Some people have even begun to spread rumors that a world war is about to begin. Now the Fire Nation is planning to start preparing troops to defend other countries. Because of these remarks, many people in the Fire Nation have already fled. They are afraid that they will be involved in the war and lose their lives because of the battle. Maybe this is their best choice. Because a big war is really going to take place in the capital. What's going on? Did the people of the Fire Nation know that we are coming here to find someone, and all the troops are coming out? Jiraiya widened his eyes. When has he ever seen such a scene? Even a small movement of 1,000,000 troops can make a huge sound. Millions of people gathered together, and it feels like there is a momentum that is not inferior to the ninja army. I don't know, it should be some special method, but the military formation of ordinary people is really getting more and more powerful. Senju Hashirama was a little emotional. At the beginning, this military formation was specially developed by Senju Tabirama and the army. It was to better control the ninja village. If there is a rebellion in a ninja village, the human country will not be helpless and have no chance of winning. I didn't expect that today, the thing invented by my brother would be used against me. Yes, brother, the wisdom of these people is really amazing. Senju Tabirama couldn't help but sigh. At the beginning, he just made a needle method to fool around. Now it can inadvertently make millions of people take effect at the same time. Even if he rushed in alone, his life would be in danger. Okay, let's stay on guard. Wait for Tianyu to bring people over, and we will start the next plan. Senju Hashirama stopped watching the army and found a place to rest. As for the tailed beasts activated by Tianyu, they all turned into small pet forms. Otherwise, such a large body, appearing in the capital of the Land of Fire will cause chaos. In this way, after 2 whole days, the 12 guardian ninjas finally brought Tsunade to the border of the Land of Fire. Oh my god, what's going on? Why are there so many refugees? Asuma's eyes widened. He couldn't believe when there were so many refugees in the Land of Fire. Could it be that when they left, there was a big disturbance in the Land of Fire? This elder sister, do you know what's going on? Why are they all running away? Dilu quickly stopped a fleeing elder sister. But the elder sister was very anxious. After fooling Dilu for a while, she left here. Don't ask me, I just know that a war is going to happen. If we don't run away, we will die. Looking at the elder sister's back as she left, Dilu and others were confused and didn't understand what was going on. Although the relationship between the Hidden Mist Village and the Leaf Village was very tense. But it didn't seem to be so tense that it would be a life and death battle, right? On the surface, the ninja villages were still very peaceful, but there would be a little friction inside. Tsunade, did you decide to provoke a fight when you left? Asuma looked at Tsunade uncertainly. Now, apart from Konoha village, he couldn't think of another country that was qualified to start a war. What are you talking about? When you captured me, I was still handling diplomacy. How could I start a war? Besides, when you were in Konoha village, did you see people in our village preparing for a fight? Tsunade couldn't help but roll her eyes at Asuma. What a meaningless question. That's right. Let's go back quickly. Don't let anything happen to the daimyo. Kitain seemed to know what happened. A smile appeared on his face, and then he urged everyone to move forward. At this time, Tianyu, who was following them, left behind them and instantly appeared behind Senju Tabirama. What's going on? I heard that the Fire Country is going to go to war. With whom? Can you react a little next time? We don't know what the situation is. It was like this when we came. Senju Tobirama looked at Tianyu speechlessly, and then pointed helplessly at the army in front. Senju Tobirama and Senju Hashirama didn't want to destroy this country. After all, they hold the lives of millions of people in their hands, so what's the difference between them and demons? Oh? The daimyo can't possibly know we're coming in advance. Wait a minute, I'll be back soon. After Tianyu finished speaking, he put on a piece of clothing and instantly hid his aura. Then he put on a mask on his face, changing his appearance into that of a 40-year-old uncle. Oh my god, you still have this kind of thing. How many treasures do you have left to show? Senju Tobirama looked at Tianyu's appearance in surprise. Ninjas naturally have disguise techniques, but in the eyes of high-level ninjas, these are all inferior things. After all, a person's chakra has a unique personality, and it is easy to find the difference. So when it comes to high-level ninjas, this thing is basically not used. But the thing that Tianyu took out actually completely hid his chakra. Not only that, even his appearance was not noticeable, as if he was really a 40-year-old uncle with no achievements. Then what can I tell you? If you like it, I will give you one. I have plenty of this thing. After saying this, Tianyu came to the gate of the land of fire. After a body search by the army, Tianyu walked in smoothly. This kid, it seems that he has a lot of secrets. Senju Hashirama watched Tianyu go in so easily, and couldn't help but sigh. Senju Tobirama and Orochimaru looked at each other, then smiled at each other and no longer paid attention to Tianyu. Compared with a pervert, it will only make you more and more upset. It's better to watch a young man rise. At this time, Tianyu didn't know that the two people's minds had changed greatly. He had already come to the daimyo's house. At this time, the daimyo had already put on his most luxurious clothes. What makes people feel sick is that this old guy listened to his beer belly and turned around in front of the mirror. My little beauty, I'm about to see you, wait for your brother. Ugh. Damn it, is this guy a fool? Tianyu couldn't help it, and came to a tree and vomited. Who gave this guy the confidence to say this? Should he slap his old face? Chapter 434 Arrival at the Fire Nation. I must tell the world that you are the happiest woman in the world, and I will use this million-man army to prove my feelings. The daimyo said firmly. I see, it seems that Tsunade is the new queen. Tianyu understood and couldn't help but feel pity for Tsunade. It was unlucky for Tsunade to be favored by this old guy. But this old guy was also infatuated, and he was quite courageous to directly mobilize 1,000,000 soldiers. I thought it was something, making the country in turmoil, just to marry a woman. Tianyu shook his head helplessly, and then disappeared from the spot. How is it? Do you know why this million-man army appeared here? Senju Tobirama saw Tianyu coming back and rushed up to ask. Do you really want to know? Tianyu looked at Senju Tobirama with a strange expression, as if he didn't want to say it. What are you hesitating about? Just say it quickly, what else can there be? Senju Tobirama said that he could bear it and just said it. Even the people around him agreed, wanting to know why this million-man army came out. Or how did they find out that they were going to start a war? You can watch it for yourself, and you will know after you watch it. Tianyu took out a crystal ball from somewhere. It was modified based on Sarutobi Hirozen's thing. It can record and track a person's image. It was useless before. After all, with the existence of the detection rat, this thing is not very useful. Now that they want to watch it, this thing will come in handy. In this way, everyone watched it attentively, and everyone's face became worse and worse. Even except for the two brothers of Senju, everyone else vomited while holding the tree. The two brothers of Senju did not vomit because of the impure world body. But they also stood and retched twice. Tianyu, you are murdering us. Why do you let us watch disgusting things? Jiraiya looked at Tianyu angrily. He didn't expect that a person could be so disgusting. Tisk, you want to see it for yourself. Now you know the reason. Let's give him a big gift. Tianyu stuck out his tongue, and then smiled at the millions of troops below. It is not a good person. If it can be possible, it naturally does not want to kill so many people. However, if these guys are blinded and don't know right from wrong, don't blame him for showing mercy. Everyone, Tsunade-sama has followed the 12 guardian ninjas to 2 kilometers here and will appear soon. Hatake Kakashi suddenly appeared and reported the situation. After all, among these people, the strength of Kakashi and Might Guy is really not enough. So they were arranged to scout the situation. Hinata, who came with them, took care of the tailed beasts nearby to prevent these guys from making trouble. Okay, I know, you guys come back too. Tianyu nodded and then stood up. Everyone, it seems that we have to start our performance. When Tsunade appears, we will start. Okay. Everyone agreed in unison, as if Tianyu had become the leader of everyone. This may be the only person in history who can command so many shadow-level beings at the same time. There are no signs of fighting. Could it be that the daimyo has done something weird again? The speed of the 12 ninjas guarding the road was flying, for fear that something would happen here. Who knew that the country was peaceful and the people were safe along the way, except for some people who were anxious to escape? Nothing happened. This rumor must have come from the capital. If nothing unexpected happened, it was the daimyo who came up with something funny, which led to this result. Hey, don't think so much, don't talk nonsense when you go back, just hand over Tsunade. After Asuma warned the others, he continued to speed up and return to the capital. The closer he got to the capital, for some reason, Asuma felt a very terrifying sense of oppression. It was as if something dangerous was coming. In this way, more than a dozen people took about 5 minutes to finally arrive at the gate of the capital. Oh my god, they really dispatched 1,000,000 troops. Is the daimyo going to send troops? One of the 12 guarding ninjas couldn't help but complain, and then the gate was opened. A road leading directly to the daimyo's mansion appeared in the middle of the army in an instant, and all the soldiers faced the road in an orderly manner. We have seen the new queen. We have seen the new queen. We have seen the new queen. Deafening voices spread throughout the capital, and waves passed through the air. New queen. Among the 12 ninjas and Tsunade, only Kitane was not surprised. Others did not understand what the soldiers meant. Could it be that the Hokage they brought back became the new queen of the daimyo? Haha, it's finally here. I've been waiting for a long time. The daimyo had heard that Tsunade had been brought back, and he hurriedly ran out with his men. All the soldiers knelt down and lowered their heads, not daring to look directly at the daimyo. Greetings, daimyo. We have fulfilled our mission and brought back the Hokage of Konoha village. Asuma knelt on the ground with his men and began to report the work schedule. But it was obvious that the daimyo didn't want to pay attention to this guy at all, and his eyes were straight at Tsunade. No matter how many times I look at her, Tsunade is so beautiful. Daming thought in his heart, and walked step by step to Tsunade. Tsunade, I have actually liked you for a long time. You will be the queen of the land of fire in the future, second only to one person in above 10,000 people. Isn't this much better than being a Hokage? The daimyo said this and wanted to reach out and touch Tsunade's face. Haha, the daimyo wanted to establish a new queen without telling us, isn't that a bit too much? At this time, Tianyu and others finally appeared. Tianyu took the lead and floated in the air. The others just stood on the city wall, looking at the daimyo of the land of fire indifferently. Why are you here? The daimyo looked at the ninjas of Konoha village in surprise. He didn't tell anyone his thoughts. How did these guys have the chance to react? You? Why are you here? Tsunade looked at everyone's faces in disbelief, especially the frivolous look of Tianyu, the leader, which was really a bit surprising. After all, when she was leaving, she told Shizu not to let anyone worry. Just a moment ago, Tsunade was a little regretful. Who could have thought that the daimyo of the land of fire would be so despicable and wanted to establish a queen right away? Especially with the millions of troops around him, even if he wanted to run now, it might be too late, right? Chapter 435 A magnificent fireworks display. Why are we here? You are already an auntie and someone still wants to marry you, shouldn't we come here to celebrate you? Tianyu said with a smile. This. Everyone widened their eyes and looked at Tianyu in disbelief. Don't you know that what Tsunade doesn't want to hear the most is to be called auntie or grandma? Tianyu, you little brat, are you tired of living? Wait for me to go back and see how I will deal with you. Tsunade looked at Tianyu angrily, but her face was filled with a happy smile. It's up to you, we can talk about it when we can go back. The senior elder of Konoha village, the Black Death God Tianyu greets the daimyo of the land of fire. Tianyu stepped forward and introduced himself, and then everyone stepped forward and began to introduce themselves. The first Hokage of Konoha village, the god of ninjas, Senju Hashirama, is here to join the battle. The second Hokage of Konoha village, the fastest ninja in the ninja world, Senju Tobirama, is here to join the battle. One of the three ninjas of Konoha village, The toad sage Jiraiya is here to join the battle. One of the 3 ninjas of Konoha village, the mad scientist Orochimaru, is here to join the battle. The most frightened people present at this time are the 12 guardian ninjas. It's dangerous to throw one of these people over, and now a bunch of people are coming at once. Isn't it a bit too much? Not only that, when they were introducing them just now, they saw the 4 little pets behind Hinata. Even if they are not educated, they still know about the tailed beasts. This appearance must be the tailed beast gate that Konoha village has subdued in the rumors. You are so bold, don't you know that the land of fire is the direct superior of your Konoha village? Now you actually bring people here to rebel? Aren't you afraid that my million-strong army will execute you? The daimyo of the land of fire was extremely angry, and he didn't care about anything and just started to curse. This made the 12 ninjas who were guarding him sweat coldly. Doesn't this guy have a brain? Doesn't he know who is standing in front of him? He cursed so boldly, this guy really doesn't know how he died. Everyone, you should also know our identity. I will give you a chance now. As long as you can lay down your weapons and surrender now, my Konoha village will forgive you for the past. But if you are with this old guy, don't blame us Konoha for being ruthless, kill them all. Tianyu said this expressionlessly, and didn't want to pay attention to the fat man in front of him. It's okay if you don't know anything, but can't you learn some history? You are so bold that you dare to disturb our army's morale. Listen to me, if anyone dares to rebel, he will be cut into pieces for treason. The daimyo was a little anxious now, because he saw that his soldiers began to waver. The other side had less than 20 people, but they had 1,000,000 soldiers here. Would they be afraid of them? Who knew that no matter how the daimyo yelled, someone finally couldn't bear it and put down his weapon? Lord Tianyu, we know your majesty, we surrender, and leave now. If one person left, the second person would naturally leave. In a short while, there were only 600,000 left out of the million-strong army. A full 400,000 left. It can be seen that the daimyo of the fire country is not very popular, otherwise no one would defect even if there was a huge gap in standing. Among the remaining 600,000 people, some of them were because their families were controlled by the daimyo. Because of this, they had no choice but to stand here. There are also some people who are simply mentally ill and swear to follow the daimyo to death, wanting to get an official position. Just wait for me. When I win the war, I will capture you all. The fire country daimyo roared angrily. At this time, Tianyu saw that those who should leave had left, and those who didn't want to leave had not left. In this case, the battle will begin thoroughly. Today, Tianyu will use the lives of 600,000 people to save the whole world. No one from Konoha can do anything. Hinata, do as I say, all the tailed beasts surround the entire capital. Okay, brother Tianyu. Hinata began to command all the tailed beasts to act in an orderly manner. The tailed beasts first began to change into their original reminders, and then quickly came to the position where they should have been. Daimyo, since you want to get married so much today, then I will give you a gorgeous firework. Then Tianyu gently raised his hand and snapped his fingers. As the sound spread, the tailed beast jades gathered in the mouths of all the tailed beasts at the same time, and smashed them in the 4 directions of southeast, northwest and northeast. Boom. In an instant, 4 explosions spread throughout the capital city. Half of the capital was completely reduced to ruins, and the original 600,000 troops also became scattered. This is indeed a beautiful firework, but the direction of the explosion is not on the air. Daimyo, what do you think? Is the firework I gave you very beautiful? Tianyu looked at the daimyo with a smile, as if everything here was not done by him. Tianyu, you are looking for death, do you know what you have done? Come on. The daimyo waved his hands frantically and asked the remaining soldiers to charge. After the soldiers collectively hesitated for a while, someone roared, and then rushed up. At this time, Tianyu didn't need to take action at all. The next moment, a huge wooden Buddha statue and an 8-headed snake rushed up. Several toads dozens of meters long also appeared on the other side. And Senju Tobirama was throwing detonating talismans on the field inhumanely, and he seemed to be having a lot of fun. Why didn't I notice that Senju Tobirama looked so childish? Tianyu complained speechlessly, and then looked at Tsunade who was still stunned at the door. Then Tianyu appeared behind Tsunade in an instant. What? You don't recognize us anymore? Tianyu patted Tsunade's shoulder gently. Not good, be alert quickly and set up the formation. When the 12 ninjas saw Tianyu appear, Asuma shouted and wanted to resist. Are you annoying? Tianyu impatiently pulled out a knife and chopped it horizontally. Then countless air currents appeared in the air, and the air currents passed through the bodies of the 12 ninjas. In an instant, the 12 people stood still and stopped moving. You are in the way, so I ask you to go down and cool down. After Tianyu finished speaking without looking back, the 12 ninjas instantly exploded into a blood mist and completely disappeared from this world. In this way, even the last incense of the Sarutobi family was completely solved by Tianyu. 12 ninjas, how is it possible? The daimyo of the Land of Fire looked at the blood in the air in disbelief and widened his eyes. Chapter 436, The Fire Nation is Destroyed. Tianyu. Tsunade lowered her head, but Tianyu could still see a slight smile on her face. What's the matter? Tsunade's hand slowly placed on the soft flesh of Tianyu's lower back. Do you know how happy I was when I heard you call me auntie just now? As she spoke, Tsunade's 100 healing seals appeared. Tsunade, did you hear it wrong just now? I'm here to save you, don't let your mind wander. Then, in the entire capital of the Fire Country, Tianyu's screams due to his youthful recklessness echoed. Can't you be a little gentler? Tianyu rubbed his lower back speechlessly, and then glanced at the battlefield. At this time, there were only a few Fire Country troops left on the battlefield. Basically, the remaining ones were surrounding the Fire Country daimyo. You could tell from his hands that this guy was shaking. This reaction of the soldiers was still very normal. Hundreds of thousands of people died in front of them in an instant. Even a Jonin would collapse when seeing this scene, not to mention ordinary people. What a strong smell. Tianyu covered his nose and kept fanning himself with his hands. Because of Tianyu's reminder, everyone looked carefully and saw a puddle of water under the crotch of the Fire Country daimyo. Damn it, he is the leader of a country, but he is so incontinent. It's so shameful. Tianyu complained helplessly, and then took Tsunade away. This guy looked like he had a good meal for the whole day, but it smelled so strong. Lord Tianyu, it should be almost done now. If you keep killing, the Fire Country may be destroyed. At this time, Hatake Kakashi came forward. Although he also hated these guys from the Fire Country, he had to step forward. After all, the economic source of Konoha village basically comes from the Fire Country. If the Fire Country really perishes, Konoha village will no longer have an economic source. Then the strength of Konoha village will become worse and worse, and it will not be far from destruction in the end. Well, you have a point. Everyone, stop first. It's a bit too much to kill anymore. After hearing what Tianyu said, almost everyone stopped, only Senju Tobirama was still killing crazily. Senju Tobirama was not a person suitable for the peaceful era. Because he had to control his warlike cells, he could only study forbidden techniques or scientific research projects continuously. This also allowed him to divert his attention. Now that he could finally have a good fight, Senju Tobirama would naturally not stop. Enough, Nidame-sama. Tianyu appeared behind Senju Tobirama and gently placed his hand on Senju Tobirama's shoulder. In an instant, a black cyclone appeared beside Tianyu and threw Senju Tobirama back to the side of Senju Hoshirama. Dame, please. Okay. Senju Tobirama nodded, then took his brother aside and took good care of him. Tianyu also came to the top of the wall of the Land of Fire and amplified his voice with chakra. Listen carefully, everyone. Now the daimyo of the Land of Fire has been captured by us. From now on, Konoha village will be the capital of the Land of Fire. The Hokage of Konoha village will also serve as the daimyo of the Land of Fire. If anyone has any objections, we can go to your house to seek their opinions. But you have to think it through. If this opinion is not good, we will let you know why the flowers are so red. After Tianyu finished speaking, he looked at the daimyo of the Land of Fire who was still lying on the ground. He no longer needed them to deal with it. Even if they did not take action, someone would naturally take action for the things that the daimyo of the Land of Fire did. Tsunade's face was not so good. She thought that she was saved and it would be fine, but Tianyu arranged another job for her. It was very troublesome to complete her own work, and now there was another daimyo of the Land of Fire. Tianyu, you will pay the price when I go back. Tsunade said with gritted teeth, and then came to the two grandfathers obediently. Tobirama, it's really strange. I originally wanted to establish a relationship between ordinary people and ninjas. I didn't expect that because of my decision, ordinary people would feel so superior. Senju Hoshirama was very emotional and felt confused about his decision at the time. And Senju Tobirama just smiled and didn't return to Senju Hashirama's words. After all, he didn't agree with his brother's decision at the time, thinking that his brother's decision was too sissy. They have the most powerful strength in the world, why should they listen to others? So after he became Hokage, he started to launch wars and fight continuously. In the end, he died on the battlefield, and Konoha village had no obvious development, and then fell into the hands of the villain Sarutobi Hiruzen. Maybe Tianyu is the most suitable leader. He has brains and strength. The two of us are not as good as him. Senju Hashirama hesitated for a long time and finally said this. After hearing this, Senju Tobirama had the same opinion as his brother for the first time and nodded firmly. But Tsunade was surprised to see the conversation between the two grandfathers behind him. When did the two grandfathers give such high evaluations? Lord Tianyu, what should we do with the remaining soldiers? When Kakashi was cleaning up the battlefield, he suddenly came to Tianyu and looked at Tianyu hesitantly. After all, the battle was won, and there were still 100,000 soldiers left on the battlefield. They surrendered in time and were not killed. Oh? Kill those who defected temporarily, and leave those who resisted to the death. Tianyu thought about it and decided on this proposal. Yes. Kakashi did not follow Tianyu's orders, and quickly commanded the scene to select the soldiers who could be used. As for why Tianyu wanted to leave those who resisted to the death, it was entirely because of the future of Konoha village. A soldier who can waver around like a fence-sitter at any time on the battlefield. If there is really a war in Konoha, they may be the first to run. Only those loyal people, as long as they are correctly instilled with the values, are a group of human cannon fodder. Although Tianyu's behavior is a bit inhumane, it is the best way to protect Konoha village. Kakashi, you three can clean up the battlefield here, I will go back with all the seniors. Tianyu saw that there was nothing for them to do, so he didn't stay any longer. After saying hello to Kakashi, he came to the others. Kakashi just nodded and continued to devote himself to his work. Nadame, you should be able to take the people back. Shikamaru is waiting for me. If there is anything, or Orochimaru, call me. I'll leave first. Then Tianyu disappeared on the spot. Chapter 437 Arrival at Union. After leaving the capital of the Land of Fire, Tianyu stopped running around and continued to go to the hidden cloud village with Shikamaru. Just when the order of Konoha village returned to the starting point, the other four major countries were completely blown up. No one thought that the ninja village that had been ruled for decades would betray one day. The daimyo and high-level officials of the four major countries hurriedly held a meeting. In the end, they unanimously decided to reduce the funding for the ninja village. The combat effectiveness of the ninja village must be controlled, otherwise the end will be the same as that of the Land of Fire one day. In this way, the four major ninja villages were inexplicably shot when they didn't know what was going on. On the other side, Tianyu, who was with Shikamaru, naturally didn't know that such a thing happened. Because the two of them traveled through mountains and rivers and finally arrived at the hidden cloud village. It has been so many days. If they don't arrive, Tianyu himself will go crazy. I don't know what's going on. As long as I'm not in the village, something will definitely happen in the village. Lord Tianyu, we are finally here, so should we hurry to find the wreckage now? Shikamaru's face was obviously decadent. These days, I thought I could have a good journey with the legendary ninja of Konoha village. Who knew that Master Tianyu didn't take him to play at all, and disappeared at any time? This also caused Shikamaru to remain tense all the way, fearing that he would encounter danger. Tianyu was also very sorry, looking at Shikamaru embarrassedly. Shikamaru, you should take a rest for a while, I will find the wreckage myself. Looking at your condition, you will not be able to work physically. Tianyu said and threw Shikamaru into a hotel casually, and ran to the wreckage's office. After all, Tianyu didn't want to waste time anymore, so he should go home quickly after collecting the tailed beasts. In this way, Tianyu asked along the way, and soon he found the downstairs of the wreckage's office. Who is it? Don't you know that this is the important place of the wreckage, and outsiders can't wait to enter? Just when Tianyu was about to go up, 5 or 6 Anbu of the hidden cloud village surrounded Tianyu. Excuse me, I am the elder of Konoha village, Tianyu. I want to talk to your wreckage about something. Is it convenient? Tianyu was very polite and did not get angry because he was surrounded. I'm sorry, Lord Wreckage went out for official business 2 days ago. You may not be able to see him now. After hearing Tianyu's identity, the Anbu became respectful. Before Lord Raikage left, he had already instructed the Anbu to treat Tianyu well when he heard that he was coming. After thinking for a while, Tianyu smiled and said, "Okay, I know, then I will go find him." This. The Anbu looked at Tianyu hesitantly. After all, Lord Raikage told them when he left. Tianyu must be kept in the village and not interfered with him doing things. Just when this Anbu was about to say it, he was stopped by his companions. "Are you crazy? Haven't you heard of the strength of Elder Tianyu? Do you think we are also at the level of Lord Raikage?" After hearing his companion's words, this Anbu realized that Tianyu was polite to them just now. But don't forget, this guy has a bad temper. After saying this for the first time, "I may not know how I died. What should we do?" When Lord Raikage left, he told us not to let Elder Tianyu leave. The Anbu was struggling in their hearts. Should they stop Tianyu? When Lord Raikage comes back, tell us that we can't stop him. Lord Raikage also knows Elder Tianyu's strength and can understand our difficulties. In this way, the two finally finished discussing, and one of them came up with a smile. "Elder Tianyu, it's like this. Our Lord Raikage went out to perform a mission, and we only know the location." As he said, the Anbu handed a map to Tianyu. After seeing it, Tianyu stared at the other Anbu for a long time, and then took the map with a smile. "Thank you, if there is nothing else, I will leave, goodbye." As he said, Tianyu disappeared from the spot. Here he naturally knew where the Raikage went. Isn't it just that the Raikage thought his strength was not enough, so he went to rob other small villages? In the end, he failed to steal the chicken and almost killed his subordinates. But Tsunade will not appear to save people today. After all, Tsunade has just returned to Konoha village recently. Because she has just accepted everything in the land of fire, Tsunade has no time to come out and be a fat sheep. And just as Tianyu rushed to the direction where the Raikage was carrying out the mission, the progress on the Raikage's side was not very good. At this time, the Raikage appeared at the gate of the Shiki village with two subordinates. "I wonder what the Raikage Lord needs in my Shiki village." When the Shiki village ninja saw the Raikage, he quickly reported that the one standing at the entrance of the village at this time was the village chief of Shiki village. After the Raikage glanced at the village chief, he nodded to the subordinate next to him. The subordinate understood and hurriedly stepped forward, looking at the Shiki village ninja arrogantly. "The Raikage of our Hidden Cloud village came here in person just to let you present your ancestral ninjutsu of your Shiki village. You should feel proud. Why don't you quickly take out the ninjutsu?" This. Although the village chief of Shiki village also knew that it must be difficult to let the Raikage come in person, but who knew that things could really be so complicated? They were asked to hand over the inherited ninjutsu that had been passed down for hundreds of years. Although their ancestral ninjutsu is extremely powerful, everyone in Shiki village also knew that the other party was even more powerful. If they acted recklessly with a little strength, they would definitely be surrounded and suppressed. Therefore, Shiki village has always been honest and upright. If there is something in the Hidden Cloud village, they will respond immediately. They are afraid that the Hidden Cloud village will suddenly turn their faces and refuse to recognize them. But the man is innocent and the Raikage is still thinking about it. It can't exist. This is something left to us by our ancestors. At worst, we can fight him. The young man from Shiki village couldn't stand it anymore, so he rushed up to fight with the Raikage. "How dare you? Don't you know who's in front of you? You dare to say that, don't you want to live?" Because the Raikage was standing behind him, the Raikage's men were also very arrogant. They began to bully others. "Come here, drag Avi away and lock him up, and punish him with family rules." The village chief also felt that something was wrong, and hurriedly asked someone to call the shouting young man away. Chapter 438 Zuinitan Clan. Village chief, no, really no. The young man who was dragged away was still shouting, trying to stop the village chief. But the Raikage's face was a little ugly, and he looked at the village chief with a gloomy face. "Village chief, you are really quick to act, and you don't even give us a chance to punish us. Everyone here can see that is one of their own, even if they are dragged away and locked up, how big a crime can it be?" But if the young man just now fell into the hands of the Raikage, then he would be worse than death. It seems that the village chief is punishing the young man, but in fact he is saving him. "What are you saying, Lord Raikage? I am only considering your dignity. Since you want the inherited ninjutsu of our village, Our village is naturally very happy. Now I will ask someone to get it. After the village chief was polite, he wanted to order his confidant to get the inherited ninjutsu. When the confidant was about to leave, he did not forget to look at the big tree at the entrance of the village, his eyes full of meaning. Wait a minute, I'd better let someone go with me. After all, I'm sorry to bother you to bring it here. Lei Yin smiled and asked his men beside him to go and have a look with the village chief's confidant. The village chief looked at the wreckage with a gloomy face. He wanted to tell his confidant to run away with the inherited ninjutsu, even if it meant burying the whole village. Who knew that the wreckage would not give him this opportunity at all? This old fox directly asked someone to follow his own people. What? Does the village chief have something to hide? Or do you want to run away? As he said that, the wreckage appeared in front of the village chief in an instant, and his fist as big as a steamed bun hit the village chief's head. Village chief. Stop it. At the critical moment, the wreckage's fist stopped a few centimeters away from the village chief's head. Haha, village chief, I'm kidding. As long as you hand over the inherited ninjutsu, we can still be friends, right? Yes, the village chief didn't dare to say a word of no now. The pressure that the wreckage brought to him just now was too great. This is a kind of pressure from the soul. If I really moved just now, the wreckage's fist would not show mercy. That's good. In this case, you should quickly follow the village chief's people to get the inherited ninjutsu. Go quickly. The wreckage returned to his original position with a smile as if nothing had happened. Now the ninjas of the entire Shiki village are looking at this disgusting guy viciously. On the surface, he seems to be a great leader, but he is so oppressive to their subordinates. If they were not defeated, they would have rushed up to fight with the wreckage. The village chief used his eyes to tell the villagers not to lose control and to stay calm. After a while, the wreckage's people finally came back with the inherited ninjutsu of Shiki village. At this time, there was a very obvious wound on the face of the village chief's confidant. It means that when taking things just now, the wreckage's people beat this man like this. Just when the village chief was about to get angry, the wreckage's men reported the situation immediately. Report, this guy just didn't listen and wanted to lead us into a trap, so we taught him a lesson. Well, if this happens again next time, just kill him directly, don't take risks. The wreckage heard this and said this in front of the villagers. The young man who was beaten clenched his fists. They had already arrived at the place where the inherited ninjutsu was collected. When they were about to take something, a wooden board fell down because of the aging of the house. This was a normal thing. If a ninja can't avoid this thing again, he shouldn't go out and say that he is a ninja. Who knew that these guys would turn the tables and say that this thing is a trap? Then, regardless of his plea, they pressed him to the ground and beat him up. When they left, these people arrogantly slapped his head and told him that they did it on purpose. Calm down, think of a way after you leave, it's not the time to be angry now. The village chief gently grabbed the young man's hand, which calmed the young man's emotions a lot. Got it, Dad? At this time, the wreckage was checking the authenticity of the inherited ninjutsu. After seeing the ninjutsu, he showed a satisfied smile. This is what he wanted. It was really good to come this time. In this way, he also had some capital to fight against Konoha. Well, thank the village chief for the gift. I hope the relationship between our two villages will get better and better. The wreckage was polite for a while, and then he left the Sham village with his men. After the few people left, the sky slowly rained, but the villagers of Sham village did not move. Dad, are we really going to let our inherited ninjutsu be handed over to these people so easily? The village chief's son looked at the village entrance and the distraught villagers unwillingly. Son, tell Zuinu that my Sham village uses the entire village as collateral to get the heads of the wreckage and his men. The village chief seemed to have used up all his strength. After saying that, he left the village entrance decadently. At this moment, everyone seemed to see that the village chief seemed to have aged by dozens of years. No one objected. Even if they were asked to die, as long as they could die behind the wreckage, they would be satisfied. After hearing this, the village chief's son did not hesitate, because there was a member of Zuinyuan's Hong in their village. He was rescued by him a few days ago and was resting in the village. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult to find Zuinyuan's Hong. Zuinyuan's Hong is a killer organization that specializes in hunting ninjas. As long as there is money, they will accept any task. Until the task is completed, Zuinyuan's Hong will not give up the task. Hunting down the wreckage is naturally not an easy task, and even if their village is mortgaged, it is not enough. However, it seems that the man in the village seems to be a senior member of Zunyuan's Hong. I believe that they saved his life, and they should take action for the sake of saving his life. In this way, the village chief's son came to the room of the senior members of Zunyuan's Hong at the fastest speed. Why are you here? I felt that there seemed to be a lot of noise outside your village just now. Hey, how are you injured? Who hit you? Because of his life-saving grace, the senior member has always been very harmonious when treating him. But today, when he saw that the village chief's son was injured, a trace of evil spirit rose from his body. Tell me who hit you, and I'll help you get revenge. Plop. The village chief's son knelt on the ground and placed a contract in front of him. Now I want to entrust you to hunt down the head of the wreckage of the Hidden Cloud Village. This is a reward. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 439, The Evil Will Come Back. The Zuanian leaders looked at the village chief's son for a long time and couldn't help laughing. Ha ha. He didn't know how long he laughed, and the village chief's son just knelt in front of him with his head down. Okay, I agree to your task. Even if my Zuanian army is wiped out today, I have helped you so much. From the beginning of this task, the two of us owe each other nothing. As he said, he picked up the contract on the ground and disappeared from the spot. At this time, the village chief's son also raised his head and kowtowed to thank him at the place where he was originally. When the people of Shansui village hired Zuanian, the wreckage was rushing back to the village at the fastest speed. After all, according to rumors, Tianyu should have come to the village by now. It is basically impossible to resist Tianyu with a defense in the village. So now he must use the fastest time and send Tianyu away. Now there should be only the 8-tail left in the village, and even the 2-tail doesn't know when it will disappear. Their Kumagakure village might be the only one of the 4 ninja villages that still has tailed beasts. You guys run behind with the inherited ninjutsu first, I'll go back to the village first. The wreckage felt that his subordinates were a bit lagging behind, so he gave an order and then continued to speed up. And his subordinates were not in a hurry. After all, in the land of lightning, is there anyone who dares to touch the people of their Kumagakure village? You should be the guards of the wreckage. Where's the wreckage now? Just as several people were running forward leisurely, dozens of ninjas wearing masks and whose faces could not be seen suddenly appeared beside them. Who are you? We are the guards of the wreckage. Now get out of here if you know what's good for you. If you get on us, how miserable the end will be. Just imagine it yourself. These people have not yet realized the seriousness of the matter, and are still holding on to that ridiculous sense of superiority. It was you who beat people in the Shirt village. Which hands did you use? At this time, a figure walked out of the team and looked at the guard who was talking in front of him grimly. Oh? So you are the lackeys of the Shiki village. I thought you were someone else. Why do you want to take back the scroll? Don't you want to live? When they heard that they were from the Shiki village, the tense atmosphere disappeared instantly. The Shiki village's ninjutsu is indeed powerful, but the people there basically don't practice chakra. The strongest one is the old guy village chief. When he was young, he should have the strength of a Jonin. Now that he is so old, it's good to have the fighting power of a special Jonin. Since you don't say it, then I can only kill 2 of you. As they said, the 2 leaders came to the guards, and the men next to them lifted these people up and raised their arms. What do you want to do? I tell you, we are the personal guards of the wreckage. If you hurt us, you won't survive. Haha, we didn't plan to survive. The leader said, taking off his mask. Originally, he encountered an accident while on the way to complete the mission. It was everyone in the Shiki village who saved him, who was supposed to die. Then his life belongs to everyone in the Shiki village. Since the Sham village is in trouble now, I will use this life to thank Sham village for saving my life. Transplant the explosive worms, cut off their hands, and we will go find the wreckage. After the order was given, the right hands of all the guards were chopped off, and the whole forest was filled with their screams. Moreover, explosive worms were also transplanted into their bodies. This kind of worm is very scary. Once transplanted, it will multiply and grow rapidly. As long as the transplanted person uses chakra, it will get bigger and bigger, and will stop when it breaks. This means that they can't use chakra. This is basically impossible for them. After all, this is the wild. If you are not careful, you will encounter a terrifying beast. This is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that their arms were chopped off. If they don't use chakra to stop the bleeding, they will bleed to death. How did the guys from Sham village find these monsters? A guard gritted his teeth and looked at the backs of those running away. They have already used explosive worms. It would be great if he couldn't recognize these guys. Because this thing is a bug used by a special organization. It was invented just to deal with ninjas. Because modern medicine is also used by ninjas, and ninjas cannot avoid chakra. So even if a medical ninja is found in time, it will be a death sentence. And this organization is the new killer organization Zuanyuanzhong that is so frightening, isn't it? But a few days ago, Zuanyuanzhong was killed by the target because of carelessness during the mission. So the rumors in the world say that these guys have already died in that mission. How come these guys died and relapsed in just 2 days? Brother, I can't help it. I can't stop the bleeding. Just as the captain of the guard was thinking, one of his men couldn't help it anymore and started using chakra to stop the bleeding. If the bleeding doesn't stop, then things will be difficult. After all, the guard's face has become very bad. In a few minutes, he will die from excessive blood loss. And even if the bleeding is stopped, it is difficult to escape the fate of death. As the size of the explosive worm on his chest grew larger and larger, the man began to roll on the ground. While rolling, he roared from time to time. "Boss, save me, I can't do it anymore, I feel like I'm going to die." The captain of the guard couldn't bear to watch his companion rolling on the ground, but he had no choice. After all, he had been with him for so many years, and he just watched him die in front of him. Finally, the guard looked at the captain of the guard, his eyes full of unwillingness. With a loud bang, not even the whole body was left, it just turned into fragments. I can't stand it, I want to die. Finally, someone couldn't bear this inhuman torture, ran to a big tree, and ended his sinful life. After a while, some people were killed by the explosive worms because they couldn't help using chakra. Some people just injured it, and finally fell to the ground because of excessive blood loss in their arms. In the end, only the captain of the guard with the strongest strength was left. He looked at the bodies of his companions on the ground and the fragments that had not dried, and smiled miserably. Haha. Ha ha ha. Chapter 440, Tianyu vs. Raikage. Just like that, in the miserable smile of the captain of the escort, he lost his life. Oh, it's so tragic. Who is this person who killed him? It's really amazing. Tianyu suddenly appeared at the original place at this time. Looking at the miserable appearance on the ground, he couldn't help but frown. Originally, he was walking according to the map, because he teleported while walking along the way. So he didn't meet the Raikage who passed by. I thought I was going to the place, who knew it would be so miserable here? These people should be the personal guards of the Raikage. If they are all dead, then the Raikage should have passed. Tianyu looked at the markers on these people. They all had the 4 protectors of the Hidden Cloud Village on their heads. They were definitely ninjas from the Hidden Cloud Village. Really, don't you know that you are wasting time like this? Tianyu complained helplessly, and then quickly disappeared from the spot. It seems that he can only find the Raikage quickly. In fact, there is no need to be so anxious. After all, as long as the Raikage is there, it's fine. No matter whether it is a corpse or a living person, just give an explanation to the Hidden Cloud Village. If the Raikage really died, at most he would just replace him. He only needed someone who could make decisions. At this moment, the Raikage, who was approaching the village quickly, suddenly felt a lot of gloomy auras behind him. And he felt that the chakra he left on the guards had disappeared inexplicably. What's going on? Is there an attack? The Raikage stopped and looked behind him. Sure enough, behind him, there were many masked men in black clothes chasing desperately. This mission is not easy. Did this guy grow up eating rabbits? A member of the Zuanyuan group was about to run out of breath, but he saw that the distance between the Raikage and the Raikage was getting farther and farther. They all chased at their fastest speed, but still couldn't catch up. Don't say it, why did he stop? Just when his companions wanted to answer, the whole team suddenly stopped. The man who was talking almost fell to the ground because of a carelessness. Good guy, I almost died. He comforted his weak heart, and then looked at the Raikage who was looking at them indifferently. Who are you? My people should have been killed by you, right? The Raikage seemed to be stating the facts, and he didn't feel sad at all because of the death of his men. Yes, they should be dead now. We will send you down to see them now. The leader said indifferently, and then began to let his men surround the Raikage. I don't want to go down to rest now, but I'll send you down to accompany them. Just like that, the battle was about to break out, and lightning instantly attached to the Raikage's body. Lei Kai activated instantly, allowing the Raikage to be free from some external factors. No, boss, this guy knows our explosive bugs, and the explosive bugs can't enter his body at all. Originally, Zuan Wanzhong wanted to repeat the same trick and directly parasitize the explosive bugs in the Raikage's body. If so, no matter how powerful the Raikage is, he will die in his own hands when using chakra. It seems that you are really the Zuan Wanzhong, but you came to me. Are you tired of living? Although the Raikage also guessed that these people were the once popular Zuan Wanzhong. After all, the clothes and other things are basically similar to those in the rumors. That's why he opened the Raikage at the first opportunity to prevent himself from being parasitized by some weird thing. Stop talking nonsense. Even if there are no exploding insects, we will kill you. The leader said, and countless kunai flew out of his hand. However, no matter how powerful the leader's momentum is, it is in vain. The Zuanian people made their fortune with those exploding insects. Without the exploding insects, they are just an ordinary killer organization. So now that the exploding insects are ineffective, what awaits them is a massacre. After a scream, the leader covered the wound on his stomach and looked at the bloody Raikage with cold eyes. In a short period of time just now, the Raikage killed half of his life. How is it? Do you regret taking this task? I'm giving you a chance now. Hand over the exploding insect formula and I'll spare your life. The Raikage has come to the leader and slowly stretched out his hand. The reason why he was able to defeat the Zuanian people this time was that he had heard of them. But no one has ever heard of such a terrifying monster in the hidden cloud village. In other words, he could hit the enemy without letting go, even if the enemy was strong. Bah! You wish. The leader spit into the palm of the Raikage's hand. Asshole! The Raikage was furious and kicked the leader away with a kick, and his momentum was even stronger. Since you want to die, then I won't stop you. As he said that, the Raikage wanted to kill the leader completely and put an end to this ridiculous killer organization. The leader also closed his eyes at this time, revealing a reluctant smile. Haha, I'm so sorry that I didn't fulfill my promise to you. Then he waited for his death to come. But after a long time, he didn't feel the fist falling on his body. Could it be that the Raikage had a change of heart and didn't plan to kill him? Thinking of this, the leader felt a little impossible. After all, the Raikage was a famous tyrant. In order to find out, the leader slowly opened his eyes. But the scene he saw in front of him made him unforgettable for the rest of his life. At this time, a young man was easily catching the Raikage's fist and looking at the Raikage with a smile. No matter how hard the Raikage tried, he couldn't get rid of Tianyu's fist. Lord Raikage, you are so irritable now, it's not good for your health. Are you Konoha Elder Tianyu? The Raikage looked at the little guy in front of him in surprise. He could imagine that the person who caught him at this age was the little monster of Konoha. Oh, I didn't expect Lord Raikage to be so powerful. I saw that you were not in the hidden cloud village, so I came out to find you. It just so happened that I saw that your guards were all dead in the forest, so I hurried to see if you were in danger. At this point, the smile on Tianyu's face did not disappear, as if this matter was taking pictures for the Raikage. Haha, then thank you very much, Elder Tianyu. But now the leader of the people who attacked me is behind you. Now I hope you can let go and let me send this guy off. Although the Raikage spoke very politely, the expression on his face betrayed him, with a fierce face. The Raikage is in a bad mood right now, and even wants to kill the guy in front of him. Chapter 441 The Mask Left on the Ancient Tree. Haha, what are you talking about, Lord Raikage? It's a peaceful time after all. I, Tianyu, hate people who fight and kill. Tianyu said, and helped the leader up and treated the injuries on his body. Elder Tianyu, although you are the elder of Konoha village, this is my own business of the hidden cloud village. And this person brought people to kill my guards. Can we just let it go? Now the Raikage is on the verge of exploding. If it weren't for Tianyu's identity, he would have started to take action long ago. Oh? But you also know that no one saw that it was this person who killed your guards, right? Besides, they only attacked you, and you were not injured. Let's just let it go. Tianyu said, winking at the leader, and then the leader ran away at the fastest speed in his life. Tianyu, do you know what you are doing? The Raikage no longer used honorifics, and looked at the scheming boy in front of him with a gloomy face. Oh? I know. It's just letting one of your enemies go. You know, the more complicated things are, the more interesting they are. Don't you think so? Raikage, no, it should be the robber. Tianyu also tore his face and slandered Raikage without hesitation. Just like that, a terrifying aura began to emanate from the two of them. It seemed that the war was about to begin. Haha, Elder Tianyu, it's your fault that I didn't control my emotions just now. How about we go back to the village and talk? For some reason, the Raikage suddenly retracted his breath and looked at Tianyu with a smile. Tianyu was also obviously frightened by the Raikage's words. What is this old fox going to do? Although Tianyu was very confused in his heart, he was very calm on the surface. That's great. I said, we are companions, how can we fight? Just like that, the two of them returned to the hidden cloud village with their arms around each other. Take people to this place to collect the bodies. The first thing the Raikage did when he returned was to ask the Anbu to collect the bodies of his unlucky guards. After all, his prestige is here. If people knew that his guards were dead. If I still don't have any reaction, then this matter will be unacceptable in the village. In addition, you take people to the Shanxi village and uproot the Shanxi village. This time, the Raikage did not hide it from Tianyu, and said it in front of Tianyu. And Tianyu did not say anything. Whatever the Raikage wants to do is his freedom, and I just watch from the side. I have helped them once, and the rest depends on their own luck. At this time, in the Shanxi village, the whole village is already packing up. Because a few minutes ago, the leader returned to the village in tatters. He guessed that the Raikage would transfer his anger to the Shanxi village because he did not kill him. So the first thing he did when he came back was to tell the village chief that he must escape as quickly as possible. Originally, the chief wanted to escape with the village chief and his family. After all, with so many people on the road, it is obvious that escaping will be a very troublesome thing. But the village chief would never agree, and he must stand with the villagers. Even the village chief's son stood on his father's side this time, looking at the chief firmly. PFFT, you guys, maybe that's what I like about you. The leader couldn't help laughing, looking at these lovely villagers in front of him, and sat alone at the entrance of the village. You guys go, I'm a little tired now, I'll rest here for a day before leaving. Brother, if you can survive, we will wait for you, we will always be your family. The village chief's son saw that the leader wanted to stay here to cover the retreat of these villagers. If the Anbu of the hidden cloud village really came, it would be a disaster for this place. Even for the leader of the Zuinitan people, it would be impossible to walk out alive. Boy, what are you talking about? I'm really tired, let's go quickly, it will be too late if we don't leave now. After the leader laughed and cursed, he leaned against a big tree at the door and slowly closed his eyes. After the village chief's son bowed to the leader, he followed the villagers and left the village. At this time, the leader also opened his eyes and looked at the direction they left. Haha, what qualifications do I have to leave? I am the only one left in Zuinitan. If I don't go with my brothers, they may not be able to rest in peace. The leader laughed loudly on the spot. At this time, the Anbu sent by the Raikage also came to the Sham village. You attacked Lord Raikage without authorization. Now we are ordered to destroy your entire village. Go, kill without mercy. The captain of the Anbu appeared and loudly pronounced the crime of Sham village at the entrance of the village. Then he let his men rush into the village and prepared to start slaughtering the village. Don't waste your time. There is no one in the village. How about we have a fight? The leader jumped down from the tree and stood in front of more than 30 Anbu. Haha, you are the leader of Zuinitan, you are just a jumping clown, not worth mentioning. After seeing the leader, the captain of the Anbu ordered his men to put on the prepared gas masks. As long as the explosive worms are guaranteed to be fine, the leader of Zuinitan is a waste. Do you really think that if you put on a gas mask, nothing will happen? The leader laughed and opened his clothes. In an instant, countless explosive bugs appeared at the entrance of the village. And his skinny body was also exposed. You all go to hell, come and bury my dead brothers. As he said that, the explosive bugs did not enter the bodies of the Anbu ninjas, but climbed directly onto their bodies. Boom! With a loud bang, the whole world was quiet. There was only a huge pit left at the entrance of the village, and there was no blood or debris on the ground. The only thing left was probably the mask on the ancient tree that represented the Zuinidan people. Thank you for this. At this time, the villagers of Shanxi village who were fleeing heard the explosion from the village. Everyone bowed in that direction and then continued on their way. At this time, in the Konoha village test base thousands of miles away, Orochimaru raised his head and took a look at a container. Squeak. Squeak, the bugs in the container suddenly died. Isn't this bug the exploding bug of Zuinidan? Oh? I didn't expect it to be dead. It seems that it has experienced a lot of battle. Second generation, I will go collect some experimental samples. After Orochimaru and the second generation applied, they changed into clothes randomly and left the underground laboratory. Chapter 442. Do you want to start a war? Then, in front of the Shirt village, Orochimaru appeared. He looked at the messy wreckage on the ground and couldn't help feeling a little sorry. It was after he saw the endearing family that he came up with the idea of developing a bug. But how ridiculous this idea is, because there is no tribe in the world whose chakra can match that of bugs. It can be said that the chakra of the endearing family is completely natural. As long as it is not a bug in a frenzy, they can successfully cultivate bugs. The exploding bug is a bug developed by Orochimaru in his early years. However, because of its nature of not distinguishing between friend and foe, Orochimaru never used it in battle. Not long ago, Orochimaru finally saw Zuiniuan's a weak killer organization. Isn't this the best organization for him to test the exploding bug? They are not famous, but they are all killers, and none of them are afraid of death. In this way, with the help of Orochimaru, Zuiniuan's suddenly became a world-famous killer organization. The means of hunting ninjas in one hand have also spread all over the world. Who would have thought that this organization would be destroyed after only a few months of existence? Oh? Tianyu's aura. It seems that he is also involved in this matter. It is better not to mention this matter to Tianyu. After all, human experiments have always been a taboo in Konoha village. Looking at the body of this person, which has become skinny, you can imagine how painful his life would be before he died. After dealing with the body on the ground, Orochimaru looked in the direction of Kumagakure village, then turned into a snake and disappeared on the spot. At this time, Tianyu was in the office of the wreckage of Kumagakure village. The wreckage was now looking at Tianyu in front of him angrily. Because of Tianyu, his plans for many things have been disrupted. The inherited ninjutsu of Shanxi village had already been obtained. Who knew that the natives of Shanxi village actually knew those desperate criminals of Zuinidan? And that's fine. Originally from the mouth of the leader of Zuinidan, he should have been able to get the inherited ninjutsu. Who knew that Chen Yaojin would come out halfway, and Tianyu actually wanted to come and share the pie? Lord Wreckage, what's that look in your eyes? I'm doing this for your own good. Think about it, if I really let you kill someone, your future status in the martial arts world will be in jeopardy. Tianyu said, with an expression of concern for the wreckage on his face. This made the originally angry wreckage even more angry, and his chest heaved. Elder Tianyu, I'm sorry to bother you. Should we talk about your coming here now? The wreckage also knew Tianyu's combat power, as well as the actual combat power of the Konoha village behind Tianyu. Now is not the time for them in the Hidden Cloud village to take action. Oh, if you didn't ask me, I would have forgotten about this. It's like this, as the boss of the 5 major villages, our Konoha village naturally has to protect the situation of other weak villages. So, I hope you hand over Killer Bee. After all, the tailed beast is very dangerous to you. Tianyu said righteously, feeling that he was making a very great contribution to the world. When did Konoha become the big brother of the 5 major villages? The wreckage looked at Tianyu fiercely. When this kid was not around, all the villages tacitly agreed that their Kumagakure was the strongest village. Now this kid actually came to their village and blatantly said that their Konoha was the #1 village. Bang! Boy, you are going too far. What qualifications do you have to say that your village is the #1 village? The wreckage was really intolerable. He slammed the table and stood up. In an instant, the Anbu hiding in the dark appeared beside Tianyu. Oh. Tianyu smiled and looked at the Anbu around him, as well as the wreckage who was staring at him. Lord Wreckage, I hope you can reorganize your words. After all, the 2 of us are the faces of the 2 villages. Don't hurt your feelings because of some trivial things. As he said that, Tianyu silently took out hundreds of scout mice. Elder Tianyu, it's not that I don't want to talk to you properly. But I have to return your words to you. I hope you can reorganize your language, otherwise you won't be able to leave Kumagakure. As he said this, the Reikage was instantly covered with Leikai, looking at Shianayu in front of him coldly. I admit that it is really amazing that you can reach this position at this age. If you grow up a few more years, I think you can really dominate the ninja world. But you can blame me if you want to. You really don't know how to hide your own edge. Now I want to educate you on behalf of the entire ninja world, teach you how to be a man. The Reikage said righteously, and then rushed towards Shianayu. Pa. 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 Shianayu clapped his hands and quickly retreated, and then appeared at the entrance of Kumagakure village. I like what you said very much, but I am a little annoyed because you are not qualified to teach me. As he said this, the Hyorinru appeared in Shianayu's hand and waved it elegantly. At this time, the Reikage also rushed over, and the two looked at each other. If you take action now, it means that Konoha and Kumagakure have gone to war, and I will announce the start of the Fourth Ninja World War. Shianayu was not in a hurry, and said such horrifying words with a smile. In the ninja world, almost everyone wants to avoid the Ninja World War. After all, after a battle, even the victorious village will be greatly reduced in strength and economy. So no matter how big the conflict is, no one wants to cause a Ninja World War unless it is absolutely necessary. And Shianayu said it, and he felt so calm. There was even a feeling of great anticipation. Why don't you move? I think the Ninja World War is still good. After all, you know that the ninja world has been peaceful for too long, and I can't show my skills at all. Shianayu showed a crazy smile on his face, constantly mocking the Reikage. Although the Reikage also wanted to fight back, there was a village behind him. Even a country. If he really caused the Ninja World War because of his own impulsiveness. Regardless of whether Kumagakure wins or loses, he will be the sinner of Kumagakure. Haha, Elder Shianayu, what are you talking about? I was just joking with you. In that case, let's just assume that my brother was reckless. How about we go find Kirabi now? Shianayu had to admire these old guys. Their attitudes changed so quickly. Oh, I was wondering, how could Lord Reikage do something to my elder brother? If that's the case, let's go quickly. Shianayu laughed and walked into the village with Reikage arm in arm. Chapter 443. The Reikage got mad. Boy, wait for me. When the time comes, I will make you kneel on the ground. After the Reikage gave Shianayu a vicious look, he then smiled. When the Anbu of the Hidden Cloud village saw the Reikage and Shianayu walking in arm, they were all very surprised. After all, the two of them were about to fight to the death. How come they became like brothers after just a few minutes? All of you go down. Elder Shianayu is not an outsider. Why do you always come out to make trouble? The Reikage looked at the Anbu reproachfully, and then quickly asked the Anbu to leave. Otherwise, if Shianayu started to blame him, he would have to watch the Anbu he trained being punished. Yes. Although the Anbu people didn't know what was going on with the Reikage, they all left the office obediently and continued to hide in the dark to protect the safety of the Reikage. Haha, the Reikage is really a good leader. He cares so much about the safety of his subordinates. Shianayu laughed and said casually. Haha, Elder Shianayu, what do you mean? Why can't I understand what you are saying? The Reikage pretended not to understand Shianayu's words and just looked at Shianayu with a smile. Haha. Haha. The two smiled at each other, and then they saw through it but didn't say anything, and continued to discuss the matter of Killer Bee. Lord Shianayu, it's like this. You also know that the combat power of our Kumagakure cannot be compared with your Konoha. So our village really needs a tailed beast to protect the village. Otherwise, your brother, I am really afraid that the village will be in danger. The Reikage followed Shianayu's words and pretended to be very weak, trying to stop his brother from going. But Shianayu didn't buy it at all. Old man, you want to compete with me in strategy? You are still a little naive? Shianayu sneered in his heart, and then restored his signature smile. So that's it. That's not impossible. Shianayu's words instantly ignited the Reikage's hope. He said that Konoha village is not ungrateful. Haha, Konoha village is really a qualified big brother. Thank you so much, Elder Shianayu. The Reikage was so grateful that he even wanted to kneel on the ground and kowtow to Shianayu twice. Don't be too happy. Since you don't want Killer Bee to go to Konoha village, we will send someone to guard it. It's like this, we have two people, the first generation and the second generation, which one do you want? Shianayu looked at the Reikage with a smile, waiting for the answer of the Raikage. This elder Tianyu, this is a bit inappropriate. After all, the two Hokage are very busy, and it's a bit of a waste of talent to come here to watch my brother. This kid actually wants to directly insert power into the village. The Raikage couldn't help sweating in his heart. Originally, I thought Tianyu was just a little stronger in combat power. The real character is just an ordinary 14-year-old boy, which is not enough. Who knew that in a short period of time, he had no way to refuse the request of Konoha village? If he really agreed, then his brother would be in prison in Konoha village. It might be very difficult to see him again in this life. If he refused, it would be like inviting a wolf into the house, directly bringing in the other party's strongest fighting force. This is nothing more than suicide. Lord Raikage, what do you think? If it is really possible, will you give me an answer? Tianyu acted a little anxious and eager for success. This made the Raikage even more nervous, and he was sweating all over. That elder Tianyu, I wonder if there is a third option. I still think that it is a bit condescending for Lord Hokage to come to us. The Raikage was still a little unwilling and felt that there was still room for maneuver. Oh? It's not impossible. The last option is that I stay here. Actually, this choice is not bad. After all, the relationship between the two of us is so good, we will definitely get along well. Tianyu said with a smile. But this made the Raikage shudder. Compared with the two Hokage, the one that the Raikage hates more now may be Tianyu. This child's mind is really terrifying. He has a firm grasp on a person's heart. He won't be given any chance to live. If Tianyu is allowed to stay here, won't he be so angry that he will die? Okay, I know. I will send Killer Bee to you. When the Raikage said this, he seemed to have used up all his strength. Although Tianyu gave him 3 choices, anyone could see that he had no choice at all. He could only hand over his brother to others in the endless calculations. Don't worry, Lord Raikage, we in Konoha are very humane. How can I let you send someone away in person? I will personally bring your brother back to Konoha and treat him well. Tianyu naturally would not give Killer Bee a chance to escape. He would never let Unine interfere in any of the things here. Elder Tianyu, do you think I will let someone take Killer Bee away? The Raikage's face is a little bad now. Tianyu doesn't trust him at all. Will he damage his reputation because of this matter? Yes, it happened once before, and I learned my lesson. Isn't it okay? Tianyu agreed without hiding it. That's right, he just didn't trust him. What can you do to me? Looking at Tianyu's arrogant look, Liang almost swallowed his breath. No, nothing. Elder Tianyu is thoughtful, so let's go CB now. Liang no longer wants to care about his brother. Now Liang wants to send Tianyu away quickly. That's great, there's really no need for you to live here. The scenery is not as good as the water country, and the obedience is not as obedient as the earth country. It's really not that good. Before Tianyu left, he didn't forget to mock the environment of Unine. Come on, take Elder Tianyu to find B. Elder Tianyu, I have something to do, so I won't go with you. Liang doesn't want to see Tianyu again for a moment. He is afraid that if they stay together for a long time, he will be angry to death. That's great, I'll be leaving now, Raikage-sama. Konoha is looking forward to your coming over to play. After Tianyu finished speaking, he left the Raikage's office with the Anbu hiding in the dark. As Tianyu left, there were sounds of smashing and destroying in the Raikage's office. From time to time, there were also strange cries from the Raikage, which showed how angry Tianyu was. He had gone crazy on the spot. Chapter 444, Fighting Must Be Elegant. It has been a long time since the Raikage has been so crazy. Samu listened to the smashing and smashing in the Raikage's office, and a helpless smile appeared on his face. Yes, it has been a long time since anyone has been able to speak to Lord Raikage in this way in terms of strength and voice. Zai stood beside Samu, looking seriously at the back of Tianyu who was slowly leaving. It seems that Konoha village has really taken the lead this time. Okay, these are not things we can care about. Yes, let's go out and take some tasks. If we stay in the village now, Lord Raikage may use us as a punching bag. Samu was also a little afraid of the Raikage in this state, and hurriedly took Zai away from the village. There are many such situations in the village. Those who stayed behind are basically ninjas in important positions, and the others went out to avoid the limelight. In this way, Tianyu just used his mouth to make the huge cloud-hidden village lose all its morale. And Tianyu is now following the Anbu to a cliff. Because of a Killer Bee's special existence, Killer Bee will not come out unless it is important. Hey, isn't this Tianyu? Did my brother send you here for a mission? Killer Bee made a strange pose and spoke to Tianyu in a rapt tone. Lord Killer Bee, it's like this. This is the messenger of Konoha, and he wants to take you to Konoha village. Although the Anbu was very embarrassed, he still said this. Although Killer Bee's sense of attachment to the village is not very strong, he has a very good relationship with his brother AI. Now asking Killer Bee to go to a strange city is undoubtedly to anger Killer Bee. Sure enough, when Killer Bee heard this, he went berserk instantly. You are lying. How could my brother abandon me? As he said this, Killer Bee instantly turned into the appearance of the eight-tails and slapped the Anbu away. Oh? It seems that he really gets along very well with the tailed beasts. He can actually transform so perfectly. Tianyu looked at Killer Bee with interest. Maybe this is a talent, and part of it is because the eight-tails has a very good personality. If you want to reach a tacit understanding with a tailed beast like the nine-tails that hates humans, perhaps only Naruto's mouth can do it. It's you, it must be you, you want to snatch me away from my brother. At this time, Killer Bee suddenly calmed down, not only that, but even the tailed beast disappeared. Huh? What's wrong? Don't you plan to fight? Tianyu thought that Killer Bee had admitted defeat and wanted to leave with him. If that's the case, I don't have to waste time teaching Killer Bee a lesson. No, you are not qualified to let me use the tailed beast at all. I can easily kill you like this. Killer Bee said, and pulled out two knives from the backpack behind him. Tianyu understood instantly. Because when I watched the plot at the beginning, Killer Bee was always fighting with his tailed beast later, and Tianyu forgot another powerful point of Killer Bee. That is his own terrifying swordsmanship. Not only can he use 8 swords at the same time, but he can also indirectly use the power of the tailed beast. This is simply a bug, and it taught the arrogant second pillar a good lesson. Haha, how long has it been since someone said that to me? I am the elder of Konoha village, Tianyu, and I am here to learn from you. As he spoke, Tianyu drew out the ice ring pill in his hand. He was also curious whether he could fight with Killer Bee with his swordsmanship. Oh? Is Konoha village in decline? Now a young man is appointed as an elder. Killer Bee obviously didn't care about the news outside because he had been here all the time. He might not even know that Konoha has changed dynasties now. Kuragaku or 8-Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee is here to learn from you. Killer Bee said, and then rushed to Tianyu at his fastest speed. The knife in his hand chopped towards Tianyu's head with his greatest strength. However, Tianyu easily blocked it with the ice ring pill in his hand. Boy, if you only have this little strength, don't make a move, just admit defeat and get out. Killer Bee looked at Tianyu's panic and laughed at him disdainfully. Haha, in that case, I'm going to get serious. Tianyu saw that Killer Bee actually looked down on him, so he decided not to play anymore and get serious. Tianyu suddenly appeared beside Killer Bee, and the knife rushed to Killer Bee's arm and cut the area. But Killer Bee was not jealous, and 8 tentacles appeared on Killer Bee's back instantly. Then the two of them seemed to be dancing, without any chakra. The two relied only on swordsmanship and waved their swords wildly on the water. The more Killer Bee fought, the more surprised he became. Because he was using 10 swords at the same time, but Tianyu only had 1 sword to fight against him. Just now, because he made many mistakes, Tianyu had many opportunities to kill him. But Tianyu didn't do it at all, as if he was playing with him, and didn't intend to kill him at all. Boy, you are insulting me, kill me if you have the guts. Killer Bee was very annoyed by Tianyu's waterproof behavior. He thought Tianyu was just playing with him. Is it so fun to bully him? Do you think you are so powerful? Well, I don't want to play with you anymore, let's end it quickly. Tianyu impatiently distanced himself from Killer Bee, and waved the ice ring pill in his hand elegantly. I use the name of God-killing ice ring pill to activate the 1,000-year ice prison. As Tianyu's voice fell, countless cold air appeared beside Tianyu. The water in the lake next to him also began to move and began to gather towards Killer Bee. No, this guy wants to seal me. Killer Bee also felt that things were not good, and quickly stood up and activated all his strength. In an instant, the 8-tailed beast dozens of meters high appeared in the lake, and began to accumulate power in his mouth, preparing to launch the tailed beast ball. Haha, do you really think that this kind of child's attack can stop me? Tianyu couldn't help but show a disdainful smile, holding up the ice ring pill in his hand. Ha, A kid who has never seen the world actually wants to resist the tailed beast ball. You are looking for death. Killer Bee was originally afraid that Tianyu would run away when he saw the tailed beast ball. And now Tianyu didn't move at all. This was simply playing with his life. I don't recommend destroying a rising star of Konoha village. Go to hell, and live well in your next life. Killer Bee roared, and then the tailed beast ball was launched. Chapter 445 Tianyu finally left. I hope you can make me feel the fear of death. Tianyu began to speak without emotion at this time, and slowly pointed the ice ring pill in his hand at Killer Bee. Hold. As Tianyu's voice echoed in the air, the whole world seemed to have entered a world of ice and snow. The ice and snow started from Tianyu's side and quickly spread all around. The eight-tailed beast ball was also flying towards Tianyu at a terrifying speed. And the next moment, just when the beast ball was about to explode, Killer Bee was ready to laugh for victory. But then, everything he saw made Killer Bee's eyes widen. Even made Killer Bee begin to doubt his worldview. Did he think he did something wrong, or did he not wake up? Because the moment the beast ball touched the ice and snow, a picture that could overturn the whole world appeared. At this time, the beast ball was hanging in the air, but it did not move forward. With a slight sound of hitting the ground, the beast ball fell to the ground, but there was no explosion. This is one of the most powerful attack methods of the tailed beast, and Tianyu actually froze him with ice and snow? What kind of monster are you? Why do you have the ability to use the tailed beast ball? In a panic, Killer Bee wanted to ask the reason, but the ice and snow did not give him the opportunity. The ice and snow almost wrapped Killer Bee in an instant, and then passed through his body. The next moment, a dozens of meters long ice sculpture appeared in the original place, and Killer Bee was sealed in the ice and snow. Child, don't take it lightly because of the appearance. I will take you away later. Tianyu patted Killer Bee's feet and then disappeared. When Tianyu disappeared, a figure appeared on the battlefield. This is the Anbu who was slapped away by Killer Bee because of his rage. Originally, the Anbu had woken up when the two fought, but this level of battle was not something he could participate in. When he saw that Lord Killer Bee was about to use the tailed beast ball, he was also very excited. Because when Tianyu was in the Raikage's office, she naturally saw those actions. Now she could see Tianyu being killed. Even if he was not killed, she would be happy to death if he was injured. But the next moment, this terrifying scene appeared. Lord Killer Bee, I'm here to save you. The Anbu hurried over and tried to get his weapon to save Killer Bee. But at the moment when the Anbu touched the statue, the coldness of Killer Bee climbed up to him. What's going on? The Anbu wanted to let go of the weapon in his hand, but his hand had already been stuck to the weapon. Then after the panicked voice of the Anbu, he was finally completely integrated with the statue of Killer Bee. At this time, Tianyu didn't know about this and appeared in the Raikage's office in an instant. Huh? Raikage, did a thief come in? Why is it so messy? After Tianyu entered the Raikage's office, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. Did something happen in the Raikage's office after he left? Haha, it's Elder Tianyu, why are you back again? The Raikage's mentality was about to collapse. Wouldn't it be fine if he just took the person away? Why did he come back again? What? You feel like I'm not welcome? I just came here to report to you that Killer Bee has agreed to go with me. Then if Kumagakure encounters any difficulties in the future, we Konoha will naturally help. Oh, thank you so much for your kindness, Elder Tianyu. If there is nothing else, please leave. The Raikage didn't want to listen to Tianyu's nonsense and ordered him to leave. Tianyu also knew that if he really made trouble here, the Raikage might really go berserk. So Tianyu stopped talking and disappeared in an instant. If he continued to talk, the Raikage might really not be able to stand him and directly trigger the Fourth Ninja World War. It can be seen from the office that the Raikage's mood has long been on the verge of collapse. Finally left, someone come. After seeing Tianyu leave, the Raikage finally breathed a sigh of relief and quickly called someone over. Lord Raikage, what do you need? An Anbu appeared in the room and stood respectfully in front of the Raikage. Tell the whole village, no one should have any contact with Konoha village, we are sealing off the village. Today he finally witnessed the terrifying strength of Konoha village or Tianyu. Now the Hidden Cloud village no longer has the strength to fight against the Hidden Cloud village, even Tianyu alone can't do anything. But, Lord Raikage, it's like this, because of your anger just now, everyone in the village went out to perform the mission. When the Anbu heard this, they looked at the Raikage hesitantly. After all, There's really no way now. When the Reikage was furious just now, everyone was very scared. Even he wanted to run away. If it weren't for his identity, maybe he would be the first to run away? What did you say? Say it to me again. The Reikage wondered if he had heard it wrong. It turned out that the ninjas in the village didn't want to go out to perform the mission. Everyone thought that they were the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village, the best among the ninjas. Those secular people had no right to control themselves at all. Who knew that they would run away with a problem in their brains today? Lord Reikage, everyone has gone out to perform the mission. Although the Anbu didn't want to say it, he still said it with a stiff upper lip. Sure enough, as soon as the Anbu said it, he felt that his body instantly lost control and flew into the sky. Tell everyone that if you don't come back today, you will all be hunted down by Kumagakure. The Reikage was now completely overwhelmed by anger. Today, everyone is showing off, and you are being scolded in the office? Ahem. Yes. The Anbu struggled to get up from the ground, and then disappeared in the office in an instant. Huh? None of them are up to the task. After the Reikage finished speaking, he collapsed on a chair, just looking at the ceiling, and then showed a self-deprecating smile. At this time, the Kumagakure ninjas who had just accepted the mission and were about to set off far outside the village were found by the Anbu one after another. When they heard the Reikage's mission, they couldn't help but wail in their hearts. It's not right to go out, and it's not right to go back. Although no one wanted to go back, they still returned to the village obediently. They still know clearly whether it is better to be hunted by the village or to be scolded by the Reikage. Just like that, all the missions were abandoned by the Kumagakure ninjas and they all returned to the Kumagakure village. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 446 Return Home. Because of these reasons, the whole ninja world was in chaos. Because these tasks are very important, the abandonment of Kumagakure has caused chaos in the whole world. They want to find ninjas to take the tasks again. But after the ninjas refuse the tasks, these tasks will be distributed to other villages by Kumagakure. It is for this reason that the Reikage has not yet ended its violent period, so even transferring tasks is a hassle. At this time, Tianyu came to the hotel in Kumagakure and pulled up Shikamaru, who was still sleeping in the hotel. Hurry up, we are leaving now, are you still not leaving? Tianyu originally wanted to wake up this kid directly. Who knew that no matter how Tianyu did to Shikamaru, this guy didn't wake up. In a last resort, he could only threaten this kid. What? No, don't leave me here. Shikamaru stood up in a flash and saw Tianyu who was looking at him with a smile. Hungry? It turns out to be Tianyu, you are back. Tianyu smiled, and then didn't say anything, put his hand on the boy's shoulder, and took him away from the hotel. The next moment, the two appeared at the place where Killer Bee was sealed. Damn, Master Tianyu, don't tell me that this statue in front of me is the eight-tailed Killer Bee. Shikamaru, who was still a little sleepy, suddenly became energetic and looked at the ice sculpture in front of him with his mouth wide open. But Tianyu was not surprised and even walked to the statue. Oh, it turns out that there is still a fish that escaped the net, it's really pitiful. Tianyu looked at the ice sculpture of the Anbu with regret. Because the system of the Anbu is not as strong as the combat power of the eight-tailed. So if you are frozen by this extreme cold, you can imagine the end. Okay Shikamaru, don't get close to here for a while, let's go home. Tianyu was half freed and put his hand on the ice sculpture. This made the originally very violent cold instantly milder and entangled Tianyu. Tianyu dissipated the cold on his hand and then grabbed Shikamaru's hand. Going home. Shikamaru was obviously very happy. It has been more than a month since he came out. Although he is very independent, even if he doesn't go back for such a long time, he will only miss home a little. But this is not an ordinary trip. This month has made Shikamaru very tired both mentally and physically. Now hearing the word home, Shikamaru's originally tense spirit and strength instantly relaxed. It is precisely because of this that Shikamaru fainted and fell directly to the ground. It seems that you are really tired. It's time to go home. Then Tianyu launched a flying thunder god and disappeared with the ice sculpture. And because Tianyu used the 1,000-year ice prison, this place will be barren for 1,000 years. If Tianyu, The caster did not touch it, then the ice and snow would fall here for 1,000 years. At this time, Tianyu also appeared in the middle of Konoha village with Shikamaru. Because a statue of dozens of meters appeared, the whole village was shocked, and all the senior officials appeared here. "Oh, I didn't expect you to welcome me so much." Tianyu saw so many familiar people coming, and couldn't help but said suavely. "Tianyu, are you back?" Tsunade originally wanted to summon the Anbu, thinking that there were invaders in the village. When he saw this familiar figure, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief and raised his hand. The Anbu who was about to appear disappeared in the darkness in an instant. "How is it? Is my work of art good? I spent a lot of effort to make it." Tianyu pointed to the eight-tailed statue beside him and Tsunade in a boastful manner. "You came back just to show off your broken statue. So your mission is not yet completed? Do you want to never complete this mission in your lifetime?" Tsunade was furious when she mentioned this matter. After all, when Tianyu applied for the mission, it meant that he would execute the mission as quickly as possible. Who knew that this mission would take more than a month? When Tianyu was in the village, Tsunade felt that it was a very annoying thing to have an idle boy next to her. But when Tianyu really went out to perform the mission, things became not so simple. There was no longer the boy who often brought her wine and laughed at her for not completing her work. There was also no longer the boy who made noises in the village from time to time. This made Tsunade realize that she needed Tianyu's village so much now. What's wrong with you? You're talking as if I've failed you. Yet, girl, take a closer look. This is not an ordinary statue. At this time, Senju Tobirama also appeared here. He couldn't help but widen his eyes when he saw the statue in front of him. Not to mention the frostbitten Anbu statue next to him. Don't forget that Tianyu's specialty is ice ninjutsu. In other words, this statue is actually the younger brother of the Raikage of Kumagakure, the Jinchuriki killer bee, right? Sure enough, after the reminder of the second grandfather, Tsunade also reacted and quickly felt the breath of the statue. Although the human-shaped statue below had no breath, there was actually vitality in that huge statue. Tianyu, you. Tsunade was so surprised that she was obsessed with the statue and didn't say a word for a long time. Haha, that's right, I have fulfilled my mission. I have caught all the tailed beasts that can be obtained outside. Tianyu laughed. At this time, a middle-aged man ran out of the crowd. Elder Tianyu, what happened to Shikamaru? This is Nara Shikaku, the staff officer of Konoha village and Shikamaru's father. When he heard that his son had returned home, he hurried back, only to see his son lying on the ground, motionless. Don't think too much, go out with me, Shikamaru will not be in danger. Tianyu said, regardless of whether Shikaku was in front of him or not, he kicked him. Hey, who kicked me? Shikamaru suddenly woke up from his sleep and looked at Tianyu fiercely. What? Do you still want to eat me? Tianyu impatiently grabbed Shikamaru's collar and threw Shikamaru into Shikaku's arms. I handed your good son to you, and Shikamaru will reward you for your mission. Shikamaru, come to my house tomorrow, I will give you something. After hearing Tianyu's words, Shikaku showed an excited look on his face. After all, as a forging master, Tianyu would not give them some simple things. Chapter 447 Tailed Beast Museum. Next, Shikaku left the scene with his son. After all, their family hadn't seen their son for a long time, so they still had to reminisce about the past. Tianyu put his hand on the statue of the Eight Tails. All the seniors are here now. I will unseal the Eight Tails now. I hope that when he comes out, he can protect the safety of the village. Tianyu actually said this to the two Hokage. As for the people in the village who can be called seniors by him, there is really no one else except Master Might Guy. The two of them naturally understood, and then pulled away and formed a triangle formation with Tianyu. It is guaranteed that if this guy gets angry at the moment when the Eight Tails comes out, the village will be safe. Boy, let's start, we are ready. Senju Tobirama said, and then slowly raised his hand, ready to make a seal at any time. Even Senju Hashirama put his hands together, ready to release ninjutsu. Okay, then I'll start. Tianyu said, transferring all his power to the sculpture. After a series of crackling sounds, the sculpture was covered with cracks. Tianyu saw that things were almost done, so he quickly distanced himself from him and returned to his position to protect the safety of the village. Sure enough, just after Tianyu left, Kirabi's body, which had been motionless in the sculpture, began to twist. Haha, I said, you can't seal me. Boy, wait until I get out and see how I deal with you. Kirby made harsh words while trying to break the seal. Finally, he lived up to everyone's expectations and rushed out with a loud bang. When Kirby saw Tianyu in front of him, he didn't pay attention to the unfamiliar environment around him. Boy, if you have any tricks, just show them to me, let me see your strength. Kirby believed that the seal that Tianyu used just now was Tianyu's most powerful trick. Now he believed that as long as he broke the seal, Tianyu would not be able to fight against him. Look at the environment around you, the situation seems to be a little wrong. Unlike Kirby's recklessness, Yabi is obviously much calmer now. After he came out, the first thing he did was to observe the surrounding environment. He didn't know where this place was, but he knew the two figures beside him even in his dreams. Wasn't this the man who had taken him to Kumagakure as a gift and treated him as a pet? Impossible, how could these two guys still be alive? Their bodies seemed to be a little different from normal people. The Eight-Tails was still shocked as to why the two had lived for so long, but after seeing the bodies of the two Hokages, he was relieved. It seems that this should be a forbidden book developed by Konoha, which can directly resurrect the dead. I just don't know if the consciousness of the resurrected people is the same. Or did this person survive with the strength of his previous life? If it is the latter, then the strength of Konoha village has reached a very terrifying level. Hey! Isn't this the Eight-Tails? What? Do you still recognize me? Senju Hashirama retracted his hand movements. From this look, the Eight-Tails obviously saw him. Are you the kid from the Senju family? After so many years, I didn't expect you to be alive. At this time, Killer Bee's voice had changed to the Eight-Tails. And seeing the reaction of Senju Hashirama, it can be seen that this kid is really that monster. You still know each other? There's nothing we can do. The younger generation called us two brothers out, and we came out to relax. But how have you been these years? Have you been bullied? Bullied ass? In all these years, the only one who can beat me is you, isn't it the little pervert next to you? Haha, who can bully me? I kept saying that you were coming to see me, and I rushed here the first time. Eight-Tails was also shameless, and did not say what was in his heart. He said that he came here just because he wanted to see his old friend. This sentence also made the villagers of Konoha village boo. After all, everyone can see how Eight-Tails came. It's obvious that he was tied here by Elder Tianyu. Now that he is out, he doesn't say a word, and he still wants to maintain his dignity here? Even Tianyu almost choked on his own saliva. Who would have thought that Eight-Tails could say such a thing? Ahem. Haha, since everyone knows each other, then you two can go to the back mountain to chat? Tianyu did not intend to expose Eight-Tails' little thoughts. After all, they are thousands of years old, so we have to give them some face. The Eight-Tails also breathed a sigh of relief, and followed Hashirama Senju to the back mountain of Konoha village. In this way, Tianyu's mission this time was successfully completed. Now in Konoha village, there are the tailed beasts 1-tail, 3-tail, 4-tail, 5-tail, 8-tail and 9-tail. The remaining 2-tail, 6-tail and 7-tail should have been captured by the Akatsuki organization. I didn't expect that Akatsuki had worked so hard for so many years to catch 3-tailed beasts. Look at Tianyu's side, he has been out for more than a month, and he has already gathered all the tailed beasts. I said, now I have so many tailed beasts, why don't I build a tailed beast museum myself? Tianyu thought with a smile. After all, collecting so many tailed beasts is a very proud thing in the ninja world. But this matter is just a thought, and Konoha village doesn't have the spare time to build a museum now. But Tianyu didn't expect that he didn't do this himself, but it was done by Might Guy, the sultry teacher. But this is all for the future. Might Guy has not been in the village recently, so it will not be realized. Tianyu, since you are back, come to the office with me. I need you to report the details of this incident. Tsunade saw that everything was done, so she greeted Tianyu and then turned around and left alone. Tianyu wanted to go and see how his family was doing. But when she thought of Tsunade's attitude just now, she decided to go and see. Then folks, I just came back, so I won't chat with you. Tianyu said to the onlookers with a smile, and then left the scene with Tsunade. After Tianyu left, the onlookers at the scene also left. After all, Tianyu is the only attraction here. The Eight-Tails also follow the first generation to the back mountain to chat. Could it be that they are not leaving now, because they want to eat here, or play while there is still ice on the ground? Sure enough, a few children saw the adults leave and quietly walked to the scene. After all, it doesn't snow often in Konoha village, and it is lucky to see snow. Chapter 448 Anbu Engineering Team. Lord Tianyu is really amazing. He can actually create snowflakes out of thin air. A little child sighed as he came to the ice and wanted to pick it up to play. Stop. At this moment, an Anbu suddenly appeared, picked up the child and pulled him aside. Go back to your parents quickly. Lord Tianyu has ordered that no one is allowed to enter here. The Anbu said this, and the Jiujiang children were pulled out, not allowing them to get close to here. Just when Tianyu left, he suddenly thought of an important thing. That is, the ice scattered on the ground seemed to be lethal. After all, the Anbu of the cloud-hidden village also touched the statue and then fell down completely. If he was not careful and really hurt the children in the village, even if no one asked, he would not be able to accept it in his heart. So Tianyu immediately ordered the Anbu hidden in the dark to go to the scene as quickly as possible. As expected, as Tianyu expected, a group of children wanted to come over to play with ice while their parents were away. If the Anbu hadn't arrived in time, at least one of these children would have been in trouble. Okay, we know. Although the children were very unhappy, they still left the scene obediently. Then, I surrounded the place at the fastest speed. After all, after Tianyu gave the task, they didn't know how to deal with the ice on the ground. They just stayed here, or waited for the ice to melt before leaving. Otherwise, Tianyu would finish all the things and come to deal with the ice on the ground himself. At this time, Tianyu had already arrived downstairs of the Hokage's office. I thought it would be very easy to walk in. Who knew that as soon as he got here, Tsunade actually gave him a direct blow. That Tianyu, our Tsunade just gave an order that no one is allowed to enter the office. Just when Tianyu was about to go in, Shizune suddenly appeared and blocked Tianyu's way with a pig in her arms. Did you hear that wrong? Tsunade just asked me to go in. Tianyu was stunned for a moment, and a hint of answer appeared in his mind. It seems that Tsunade is still angry about that thing. Sorry, I didn't hear you wrong, because Tsunade-sama repeated it to me many times before she gave up. Shizune was also very helpless. I don't know what happened just now. Tsunade hurriedly came to her, and then told her not to let Tianyu in. Shizune said that no one was allowed to come in because she was afraid that the two would have a conflict. Oh? In that case, do you want to go in and report it? I was called by Tsunade. Tianyu looked at the window of Tsunade's office with interest. Just now he clearly felt a figure appear. It seems that Tsunade really didn't want him to go in. Okay, wait a moment, Tianyu-sama, I'll go in and ask for instructions. Shizune's forehead has begun to sweat coldly. What game are these two adults playing? Even if they want to play, don't involve her, a little secretary. Then Shizune ran into Tsunade's office. Shizune stood there panting for a long time, finally recovered, and then ran to Tsunade. When she saw Tsunade still sitting on the stool, pretending to process documents, she felt very helpless. Lady Tsunade hated to deal with these things. Now she pretended to be very serious. She should be more serious when acting, okay? Why did you rush in? Is there something wrong? Tsunade raised her head gently and asked knowingly. This. Shizune was about to go crazy. Are you two going to kill yourself? Lady Tsunade, if Lord Emoji didn't come in, we won't act anymore. What should we do now? Lord Emoji seems to be a little impatient, otherwise we should let him in. Shizune was very clear. The last time Tsunade was captured and came back, she heard that she had misdelivered the information, so she punished her. But Tsunade was still very moved by this matter. After all, if Shizune really listened to her and didn't go to find Emoji and the others, it would be difficult for Tsunade to escape from the land of fire. HMPH. He ran away without saying hello last time. I've been waiting for him for so long. Can't I just wait for a while? Tsunade saw that she couldn't act anymore, so she threw the documents in her hand out. Shizune quickly picked up the documents on the ground, and then put them aside. These are all important decision-making plans for the village, and there can't be any mistakes. At this time, Tianyu, who was standing outside, saw Shizune not coming down, and shouted outside. Tsunade, I'm here. If you don't let me in, I'm leaving. You know, I still have a lot of things to do, and I don't have the time to wait for you here. Tianyu smiled and looked at the window. Tsunade in the office naturally heard Tianyu shouting, but she lay on the table impatiently. If you have the guts, leave. If you really leave this time, don't come in next time. Shizune hurried to the window at this time, looking at the empty place where Tianyu was standing, and called Tsunade in panic. Tsunade-sama, please stop making a fuss. It seems that Aim-sama has really left. What? Tsunade was no longer reserved. She stood up suddenly and jumped out of the window. Aim-sama. Tsunade saw that Aim-sama really dared to leave, and stomped her feet on the ground angrily. In an instant, a huge spider web pattern appeared on the ground, and the whole earth was shaking. Haha, Tsunade, you haven't seen each other for a few days. Why are you getting more and more angry? Aim-sama appeared from nowhere and smiled at Tsunade, who was still going crazy on the spot. You. Tsunade wanted to say something harsh when she saw Aim-sama, but when she thought of Aim-sama's character of leaving as soon as he said he would leave, she turned around obediently. Come on, ask someone to repair the ground here. And you, follow me in and report the mission to me. At this time, the Anbu who had heard the sound and rushed over were directly pulled over by Tsunade to do hard labor. The Anbu widened his eyes and looked at Aim-sama on the side for help. Tianyu shrugged helplessly, showing that he was helpless, and then followed Tsunade into the office. Chapter 449 Hospitality. Although the Anbu didn't want to do these hard labors. But after all, this was an order from the Hokage, so they could only accept it helplessly. Then the Anbu found someone to bring tools and began to repair the miserable situation on the ground. At this time, Tianyu was sitting opposite Tsunade, looking at Tsunade with a smile. What are you looking at? I don't know what you are doing here now. Tsunade said impatiently, and then lowered her head and didn't want to see Tianyu's smiling face. Shizune also saw that the atmosphere between the two was subtle, so she didn't act as a light bulb in the office and walked out alone. Tianyu smiled helplessly, and then began to talk about his experience on the way to this mission. However, what Tianyu said was basically about the village. After all, Tianyu had been out for such a long time, and in fact, most of the time was still in the village. As for hurrying on the road, that was completely Shikamaru's task alone. Tsunade became more and more angry when she heard these reports. This guy, he came back so many times, but he didn't come to see her once. Tsunade originally thought that Tianyu only came back once when he sold ninja tools last time. Who could have imagined that this guy not only came back so many times, but he didn't come to see me once? Tianyu, next time you return to the village, I order you to come to me as soon as possible. Otherwise, no matter what, I will cancel all your missions. After hearing Tsunade's order, Tianyu naturally knew that this was an unfair treaty. But looking at Tsunade's expression, if he didn't agree, Tsunade might go berserk. He still felt sorry for the Anbu outside, not being a good killer, but running to be a decoration team. He should share their tasks. Okay, I know, I will come to see you as soon as I come back next time. Hearing Tianyu agree to this, Tsunade also smiled on her face. But she suddenly remembered that Tianyu had a girlfriend. Although she and Hinata had a good relationship, Tsunade didn't know why she felt a vacancy in her heart. What's wrong? Tianyu saw that Tsunade's face was not right, so he stepped forward and observed carefully. But he didn't see anything unusual. Nothing. Since there's nothing to do, you can leave first. If there's anything, I will ask the Anbu to find you. Tsunade gave an order, and then lowered her head to sort out the documents. She really can't act. Tianyu couldn't help laughing when she saw Tsunade handling the documents seriously. But she didn't say anything, and then turned around and left the office. What a bastard, can't you stay for a while? Tsunade raised her head and looked at the stool where Tianyu was sitting, puffing her lips. Maybe this is the legendary woman's heart, a needle in the sea. Tianyu, you have to treat me to barbecue the day after tomorrow, just as compensation for this matter. Tianyu had already walked to the street, and Tsunade suddenly stuck her head out and called Tianyu, who was halfway there. Okay, I know, see you the day after tomorrow. Then Tianyu also disappeared in the street. While the two of them were having dinner, the Anbu working on the other side was very depressed. If you want to show your affection, then go out and show it. What does it mean to show it in front of them? Apart from these, don't you see that these people are still working hard here? Can't we also treat them to some barbecue? However, the Anbu just complained in their hearts, they were still working seriously. After Tianyu left the Hokage's office, He was not in a hurry to go home. After all, when Shikaku left, he asked him to go to his house to get something. It happened that he had nothing to do now, so it was a good opportunity for him to go and see them. Then Tianyu no longer hesitated and went directly to the Nara clan. After all, Nara is also a big surname in Konoha village, and it is very easy to find their home. So in a short while, Tianyu found the Nara family. The Nara family has a retro look, and the whole is ancient. Maybe this is why every generation of Nara young master can assist Konoha Hokage. Tianyu was not polite, and directly asked someone to report, saying that he, Tianyu, came to visit. Sure enough, his name is very useful. Before he could say anything, a guard had already gone to the house to find the head of the family. When Tianyu was about to ask someone to go in and report, Nara Shikaku had already trotted out of the house. Nara Shikaku, meet Tianyu-sama. Then, everyone bowed and showed the most respectful attitude. Get up, what are you doing? I just came here to stroll around. If you are like this, I will be angry. Tianyu pretended to be very angry. Shikaku was also a sensible person. He quickly asked the servants to go and receive Tianyu. Haha, why did Tianyu-sama want to come to our house? Although Nara Shikaku guessed why Tianyu came, he did not play tricks. Playing tricks in front of such a person is undoubtedly seeking death. As a teacher of Konoha village who assisted the third generation Hokage, Nara Shikaku was still clear about this little thing. Didn't I say I would give you a little gift? It just so happens that I have nothing to do now, so I came to see Shikamaru. After all, I feel embarrassed along the way. Tianyu was telling the truth. Shikamaru was indeed very hard along the way. If it weren't for Shikamaru, I really don't know how to go to other villages. After all, I still have so many things to do. If I go there by myself, it may be just like what Tsunade said, and I may not be able to complete the mission for several years. Lord Tianyu, what are you talking about? I go out to gain experience. Lord Tianyu, let's not just stand here, come in with me first. Come on, prepare wine and food. Shikaku is obviously a very capable person. He immediately showed the hospitality to the extreme. However, the matter of eating was still rejected. Mr. Shikaku, I still don't eat here. After all, you know, I just finished the mission and went home. It's better to go home for dinner. I just came to see Shikamaru. Haha, Lord Tianyu, you are right, I will ask the kitchen to stop. Then Shikaku winked at the person next to him, and then took Tianyu to the living room. At this time, Shikamaru had been waiting in the room for a long time. When Tianyu arrived here, Shikaku hurriedly asked someone to pull his son into the living room. This avoided the situation where Tianyu arrived here but did not see Shikamaru at the first time. Chapter 450 Nara Clan. You kid, it seems that you have recovered quite well. Tianyu was very happy to see Shikamaru's face become better. After all, whenever he saw Shikamaru in the past few days, he was either sleeping or on the way to sleep. It was really not easy to see him awake. What are you talking about, Lord Tianyu? My health has always been good. Shikamaru smiled embarrassedly, then stood up and came behind his father. After all, his father and Tianyu were here. If he talked nonsense, he might be beaten to death by his father. Okay, you two father and son. Tianyu complained, and then took out a detection mouse from his arms. What is this? You should all know it, right? Tianyu thought that his family sold this thing, and they should all know it, so he did not introduce the specific information of the detection mouse. I know it, of course I know it. Shikaku widened his eyes and looked at the detection mouse in Tianyu's hand. Who in the whole Konoha village doesn't know the things in Tianjia weapon shop? There is another legend about Tianjia weapon shop. Now in the crowd, everyone is talking about the Tianjia weapon shop, which sells Tianjia weapons. Tianyu doesn't know about this yet, and only thinks that the price of this thing should be a little higher. Master Tianyu, I wonder what's the meaning of you taking out this thing? Shikaku didn't think Tianyu would give it to him. After all, this thing has already been sold at a sky-high price, and it's even out of stock. Because in the Tianjia weapon shop, this thing is a limited purchase item, and one person can buy one. Originally, this thing that looks like a mouse was not favored by people. But on an ordinary day, things became extraordinary. A Konoha Enbu can be considered to have some conditions at home, so he bought this thing. While being chased by the mission target, He also remembered a reconnaissance mouse in the Tianyu weapon shop. Because his life was about to be in danger, he didn't care about anything and threw the reconnaissance mouse out directly. After a detection by the reconnaissance mouse, the envoy got all the whereabouts of the other party. Finally, he used the classic assassination action of the envoy to directly kill the other party. That is why, since then, the scout rat has become a must-have for the top leaders of Konoha village. This is a good thing. It can save lives at critical moments. Nothing. I'm here to give this scout rat to your Nara family. I also said that Nara's Shikoku made an outstanding contribution for this time, so I will naturally reward him. 10 identical scout rats appeared in Tianyu's hands. Now I'm telling you about these rewards, but this is a little different from the scout rats sold on the market. As for the difference, let Shikamaru introduce it to you. Tianyu said, and left the Nara family. As for the scout rat, it is just a little more expensive outside. In Tianyu's place, it may not be as rare as ordinary rats. Shikamaru, is this thing a defective scout rat on the market? Shikoku's first reaction was that this thing might not be as good as the quality of the ones bought on the market. That's why Tianyu gave these scout rats to himself without hesitation. After all, 10 scout rats are enough for 10 ordinary families to live for a lifetime. If this is true, then even if his Nara family sells these scout rats, it will be a considerable fortune. Father, what are you thinking? Do you really think that Lord Emoji will give you defective products? Shikamaru was also very helpless. His father was usually so smart, why did he become stupid today? What? You said this is all true. Shikoku was waiting for Shikamaru to give him the correct answer, who knew that he would get this answer. That's right, these are not only real, but also special scout rats. These were transformed by Lord Emoji through our Nara family's inherited ninjutsu when Lord Emoji and I went out. We only need to control the scout rats to exert the power of our ninjutsu. Shikamaru said without hesitation, and then even did an experiment. He took a scout rat over, and sure enough, under his control, a servant was controlled by the ninjutsu. Okay, haha, that's great. After Shikoku was stunned for a long time, he finally reacted and laughed on the spot. There is a reason why their Nara family can never become a super family. After all, their ninjutsu is not the super illusion of the Uchiha clan. Nor is it the terrifying killing technique of the Senju clan. The only thing that can be seen is probably the ninjutsu of controlling people. And this is also the shortcoming of their Nara clan. They don't have any killing techniques, just a qualified control auxiliary type. Even if they have superb minds, they can't resist the enemy's powerful combat power. So their Nara clan basically won't participate in the battle. The way to fight may be the joint ninjutsu with the other two families. And the scout mouse is the way for their Nara clan to rise. Although they don't know whether Tianyu will release these special scout mice. But these are not the most important. As long as they are not restricted by their own ninjutsu, the combat effectiveness of the Nara clan will be increased several times. Shikamaru, you really brought honor to the family this time. You are allowed to rest for a day today. Shikoku's words made Shikamaru excited for a long time. Because in the Nara clan, the status of the young master is the counselor of Konoha village in the future. So Shikamaru has been receiving terrifying high-intensity training since he was a child. The time to rest every day may be when sleeping and eating. Even when eating, Shikoku would often ask questions in emergencies, so that Shikamaru could handle things even when he was panicked. Maybe this rest is very common in the eyes of other children. But in Shikamaru's eyes, this is the best gift in the world. So father, since I'm resting, can I go out to play? Shikamaru looked at his father expectantly. Shikoku did not refuse, smiled and nodded, and watched his son run out. Shikoku looked at the 10 detective mice on the ground for a long time at this time. After thinking for a long time, he came to a mysterious room. Tianyu didn't know the situation of the Nara family. He didn't want to know too much, so he bought some gifts and returned home by himself. But Tianyu, who had just stepped into the house, couldn't see his parents no matter where he was. Looking at the house, except for the bedroom, other places were covered with dust. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.